What's up, everybody? Welcome to Main Event, or excuse me, Marks on Media Live. I'm thinking Main Event Marks, former name of the channel. If you're on Rumble or YouTube, you can still see the old Main Event Marks. If you like retro wrestling stuff, go check that out. People are still watching that. But we are here, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in a long time. I have not had a chance to stream. I very much apologize for all of that. But Marks on Media is here live, and something just broke right before I went live here. I wanted to pull up just to start. We're going to start the stream really badly with it's really bad news to anybody who's a big fan of this guy. Why wouldn't you be? Just rip it off like a band-aid, man. James Earl Jones dies. Revered Field of Dreams star Darth Vader and Lion King voice was 93. The weird thing was I was just talking to my wife about him like the other day. We were talking about how I think, if I remember correctly, he signed away his rights to use his voice in AI form and whatever. When he passes, he said he was kind of done doing Darth Vader, and they kept wanting to use his voice for Darth Vader. And he's like, you know what, go ahead and AI it up, because I don't feel like doing it anymore, but make sure you pay my family. So, yeah, sad news. This literally, I think this broke, well, I guess it broke about 1:30, but I hadn't seen it. I've been staying away from the news sites that would have reported this. So I don't know. James Earl Jones, a revered actor who voiced Star Wars villain Darth Vader, starred in Field of Dreams and many other films. Let me turn myself down here just a tad. In many other films and Broadway shows, is an EGOT winner, died this morning at his home in Dutchess County, New York. He was 93. His reps at Independent Artist Group confirmed the news to Deadline. Widely regarded as among the world's greatest stage and screen actors, Jones is one of the few entertainers who have won the EGOT, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. Jones has received 2 Primetime Emmy Awards, a Grammy Award, and 3 Tony Awards, and was presented with the Honorary Academy Award. Yeah, everybody knows who James Earl Jones is, and it really friggin' sucks. Man, I don't know. Sorry, I just got a text about my dog. But yeah, nobody has anything bad to say about James Earl Jones ever. And if you do, I'm assuming you're just not a good person. By the way, I had said I was going to be streaming live on Rumble, YouTube. I didn't mention Locals. Unfortunately, I am live on Locals, and I mentioned X. Unfortunately, I'm not live on X right now. I don't know what it is. I've been using Rumble Studios, and for some reason, Rumble Studios does not like to go live on X anymore, at least for me. I think I'm the only one with this issue, and it worked until it didn't. So just like one day it decided we're not going to stream to X anymore. So you'll have to watch me live on YouTube, Rumble, or Locals. And if you're here, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Come on in and join the party, and make sure you subscribe and all that. I very much appreciate it. And sorry, I'm doing a little housekeeping here with the stream, trying to get things up and going. Da, 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 da. Oh Lord. Okay, here we go. Sorry, housekeeping stuff. It looks like it's done, but we have a full slate for you today. If you looked at the description at all, or if you read the title, we're going to be talking a lot of stuff today. We got open up with the James Earl Jones news, which just broke. We're going to be talking about GTA 6. There's a music controversy with an artist I've never heard of, but this made headline news because they told GTA 6 to go F themselves. So that's cool because they wanted to use their music and they apparently lowballed them. There's the Warhammer 40K issues where they finally got female Custodes in there, and they're trying to gaslight their players yet again. They've always been there. They can be any gender, all two. You got the failure of Star Wars Outlaws upon launch. We'll get into some of that. The popular user Smash JT on Twitter and YouTube, or excuse me, X and YouTube. He's going at it with Black Girl Gamers, which is one of these video game narrative companies that comes in. It's like, you need more diversity, you need more black representation, and all that, and you need more strong independent women who don't need no men. Pay me, please. So we got more of that. Sweet Baby Inc., another one of them that them and Black Girl Gamers are one and the same. It's not the same company, but they defend each other. They know each other, and seemingly, and all that. So there's that. GameStop has some retro consoles going on. We'll talk about Dustborn. Has everybody seen that? I did a video on the failure of that. Just launched like a week ago, I think. That bombed. Everybody hates it. It's losing tons of money. It's going to be an expensive failure, and they're just whining and complaining that nobody likes their garbage. When it's like woke liberals the game. Who wouldn't want to play that? Hey, then we've got news about the Goonies is getting a sequel, and people are not happy about it. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Everything old is like from the '80s is getting a sequel or a remake. '90s too. So yeah, I don't know. James Gunn pretty much mocks the CGI that went on in the Flash and said he's not gonna have crap that looks that crappy. We've got news about Joker 2 is releasing in IMAX. Joker 2, Electric Boogaloo Folie à Deux, coming out in IMAX. Coming up, the Avengers versus X-Men in the Marvel Cinematic Universe may be a real thing, a real possibility. Dragon Ball Z localizers are going woke and trying to remake the product and their image. Yay! They're going to come for everything. It's an inevitability. Disney is continuing on with their Snow White disaster. People are rejecting it in mass. And we're going to check into some story about Disney cutting funding for cast members. I want to dig into the story and take a look at it together here on stream. One of the father of one of Ezra Miller's alleged victims is speaking out. I'm gonna try to be really careful about that story, and we'll go over it. James Gunn again. He gives a Peacemaker update, kind of a window of when we're gonna get season dose in there, and then Heels. If anybody watched Heels, that is we've got an update on that possibly coming to Netflix. Some good news, everybody. Good news, everyone. All right. But now that we covered the sad stuff, let's get into some of the funny stuff here. Whoop. Wrong button. My bad. Haven't streamed in a while. Give me a little bit of a break here. All right. Let's take a look at this. Heaven 17 frontman Martin Ware, hell of a spelling of Martin, reveals he rejected Rockstar Games' $7,500 offer to buy out the band's Temptations song for Grand Theft Auto 6. Buy it out? I guess I would need details on exactly what that means. Wait a minute. Is this an old band? Heaven 17? I don't think I know them. Because I was looking at the title, I'm like, okay, they're old. I thought this was like some new band or whatever. But either way, sorry, updates on my dog. But Martin Ware, the frontman of the English electro pop band Heaven 17, revealed he rejected an offer from Rockstar Games to purchase the band's song Temptation for $7,500 without the possibility of royalties. All right, that's lame. Ware posted on X, I was recently contacted by the publishers on behalf of Rockstar Games, the possibility of using Temptation on the new Grand Theft Auto 6. He continued, naturally excited about the immense wealth that was about to head my way. I scrolled to the bottom of the email, read the offer, where then revealed it was $7,500 for a buyout of any future royalties from the game forever. To put this into context, Grand Theft Auto 6 grossed, wait for it, I think they mean 5. I don't, because it hasn't sold it. There is no Grand Theft Auto 6, so I think he means 5. But either way, Grand Theft Auto 6 grossed, wait for it, $8.6 million. But think of the exposure. Go F yourself, he concluded. Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to play the song here on stream because that will get me demonetized and get me a strike. So I'll have to listen to it later. But Rockstar Games' parent company, Take-Two Interactive, has been bleeding cash and appears to be really counting on Grand Theft Auto 6 being a massive success. It will be. There's not really an if, and, or but about that. I had no idea, though, that Take-Two was doing so badly. But in the company's most recent financial report in August, it shared that it suffered a net loss of $262 million for the most recent quarter, despite having $1.22 billion in net bookings. All right. Despite the net loss, the company's chairman and CEO, Strauss Zelnick, stated, quote, "We achieved solid first quarter results by engaging our players with exciting new games released and content updates while also maintaining our focus on efficiency. Our management team remains confident in our path forward, and we are reiterating our net bookings outlook for the year of 5.55 to $5.65 billion. Blah, 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 going on and on and on about that. Yeah, so that's the end of the article. He's talking about, what they think is going to happen in the future. Who gives a damn? I don't care. But first of all, on the musician thing, yeah, that's a crap offer, man. I know they can say, well, they don't have a lot of money going on right now, but like, promise it in the future. Don't front load the offer, back load it. Where it's like, if we sell X amount of copies, you'll get this percentage. Give them royalties, even. You're saying, oh, no royalties? What gives? Like, what? Why? And that makes me curious about other bands that have given up their music for Grand Theft Auto. I can't remember which. I want to say was it Vice City that had I Run by Flock of Seagulls. And I know, 5 and Grand Theft Auto 5 had quite a few had quite a few big songs in their trailers, but they had like umpteen million trailers. So and it's been a while. I honestly haven't played Grand Theft Auto in forever. My former co-host Greg, when he was alive, he played a lot of GTA Online. Not really my thing. So, but yes, man, $7,500 to buy out your song with no possibility of royalties just sounds like an insane thing to offer some, like, an adult man, and then be like, yeah, this is a good offer, right? Like, no, man, are you kidding? It's garbage. Sorry, sinus issues. Have to hit the mute button to cough every once in a while. The other thing, Take-Two, I want to say I heard something about I believe they're the ones that are 2K, I believe. Or maybe I'm wrong. 2K. Let me see. Maybe that's just 2K. What's the latest one here? 24. Publisher 2K. Yeah, okay. So 2K is a completely different company. Never mind what I was about to say. Okay. Yeah, Take-Two. What have they released lately? Take-Two Interactive. I don't see like a list of. Oh, here we go. Games published. List of Take-Two games. Oh, did they? Oh no, never mind. I know this is very fascinating for you all. I just want to see. Wow, okay. Do they not have anything recently? They had to have come up with something recently, right? Why is it giving me all games back in, like, the early 2000s and 1990s? This is crazy. Games published, games distributed. Alright, so they do BioShock, Borderlands, Evolve, Mafia, Sid Meier's, Civilization, uh, 2K. Oh, maybe they do? Okay, yeah. It publishes games through 2K Games. Okay. So I guess I was right. A long way about going around to see that, but uh, is it NBA that they're finally they've got competition now? Um, yeah, they got the NBA 2K. Is they're bringing that back? They need a new because they finally came out with a new college football game. Suppose I've heard some like real mixed reviews about it. Some people said it was great. Some people said it was really disappointing. Uh, I would play a college basketball game. I think that needs to come back. I don't think there's been one in a little while. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe EA did it. But yeah, Borderlands. Oh, that was it. Borderlands. Yeah, that was successful. Not so much anymore. They're hurting. They just came out with that stupid movie that I have been putting off watching. I did, however, taking a break from this real quick. I watched this new movie. I posted about it on X. Trap by the daughter of M. Night Shyamalan's. I don't know her name. Don't ask me. But she also stars in the movie. She's like the pop star. For those that don't know, Trap is like this guy takes his daughter to a concert, and you don't and like SWAT and police and whatever surrounding the concert. And he notices this. They start taking people out randomly. Come to find out, he's like some psycho that kidnaps and I'll say quarters people, and they're after him. And it's a psychological thriller or whatever. And throughout the concert, he's trying to figure out how the hell am I going to get out of here with my daughter and be free and clear. And I don't know. My wife and mother in law watched it with me. They didn't like it, but they don't like slow burns. I do. The movie didn't make it, it made sense up until the end when it didn't have a twist to it, but it did like a slight one, I guess. But it was pretty straightforward as far as a thriller goes. There were a few unanswered questions. I don't know if they were all super important, and then there were a few really unrealistic things towards the end. Like basically like the final scene of the movie or last couple of scenes. You're like, all right. But yeah, M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, directs it. M. Night Shyamalan's is in it. He not for long. He's in it for like 2 minutes, but he plays her uncle, I guess, uncle slash like one of her managers. So yeah, there you go. The Shyamalans putting themselves in their own stuff. Let's move on. I wouldn't. I guess I'd recommend it. It's not bad. I don't know what it got on Rotten Tomatoes here. Not that they're the end all be all, obviously, but what did it trap? What did it get? Josh Hartnett. That's the guy's name. Wow, people did not like this film. All right, let's. I guess I'll share my work here. Let's take a look. Rotten Tomatoes here. Tomato meter got 57%, 65% on the popcorn meter, which is like the people now. That's the audience score. Let's see. Are they verified ratings? Let's see. These are the good ones. It was a really boring movie. The most exciting part was when they were in the concert, but you just keep waiting for more. I will say, let's see. M. Night Shyamalan's doesn't disappoint. Oh, I guess it was directed by M. Night. I thought it was his daughter. Well, never mind. What do you mean he doesn't disappoint? He disappoints all the time. Serial killer never killed anyone. Go figure. I mean, not in the. Nah, I guess that's a spoiler. But I like that it's a family-friendly thriller. Yeah, it's not gory. They don't show anything. However, it's half predictable, and the other half is just like, how did nobody see him? To me, the trailer is more intense than the actual movie by a lot. Eh, I don't know. It was okay. again, I'm not going to go out and be like, oh, you should watch this movie. I didn't think it was bad. It was a very slow burn. I definitely the fact that I was giving it more grace because I thought it was his daughter and she's young and new to this, whatever. So I was giving it a little bit more grace. Man, he should have just edited this with a freaking chainsaw. I'll tell you. Um, that was his daughter, right? Yeah, Suleika Shyamalan. Yeah, she's the pop star Lady Raven. Yeah, it's okay. I don't know. I don't know if it did. I don't think it did very well. So, go figure. And M Night Shyamalan's movie not doing well. What was the damn runtime on this thing? 2024 film. 105 minutes. It felt like longer. They dragged it out. Anyway, getting back to the regularly scheduled programming here. Games Workshop. Here we go. Games Workshop introduces new female Adeptus Custodes into Warhammer 40k and asserts Custodes can be any gender. You mean either gender? Whatever. Games Workshop announced that it introduced a new female Adeptus Custodes in Warhammer 40k as part of the the tithes. Sorry, sometimes I think I'm dyslexic because I can look at a word and just it refuses to click in my mind, even though I know the word. Is part of its The Tithes animated series. Where is that? Because I might watch it. I tried watching one movie. I don't know what it was. Don't ask me what it was called, but it was it was a Warhammer like movie. It was like the worst like early 2000s crappy animation ever. It's like if you go back, I like the movie Hoodwinked, but if you go back and watch it, and especially like the second one, whatever, it's horrible animation. It's kind of like that. But on the official Warhammer community website, Games Workshop revealed Tyrith Shiva Kairos, the first three of a long list of honorific names earned fighting for the Emperor, has the privilege of being our first portrayal of a female custodian guard since the recent revelation that custodians can be any gender. The company added the fact came as a real surprise to many since it wasn't something previously explored. It was pretty much downright said that it was only men. From everything I've read, it was just men. So it wasn't just discovered. You're just retconning it. But anyway, the company added the fact that it came as a real blah, 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 blah. That in and of itself isn't a particularly unusual thing for Warhammer 40,000 and its lore. There are simply loads of things the Warhammer studio have never expressly stated, whether that's ruling them in or out. They're kind of just changing their wording for everything, though. So it's not like, oh, it was there, we just never told you. It was, no, we wrote something, and then later we decided we wanted to change it, so now we're retconning what we wrote, and we're like, F you. From there, Warhammer continued to justify this massive retcon and gaslight its enthusiasts and hobbyists. Quote, since the earliest conversations about bringing the Horus Heresy to the tabletop and Black Library fiction, the exact nature of the custodians has been under discussion. After all, their origins and meanings of creation, unlike, for example, the legions / Adeptus Astartes, are shrouded in mystery. A significant advantage to the portrayal is that it helps us to address a common misconception that the Custodes are just bigger, better space marines. They aren't. Space marines are made through industrialized ritual to be mass-produced, brute force weapons of conquest. And even 10,000 years after their creation, draped in self-assigned glory, that's still true of them at their core. Games Workshop stated, each custodian, on the other hand, is unique, painstakingly made through peerless craft and arcane artifice, their physique, their psyche, Their very soul is a bespoke instrument of the Emperor they unquestioningly serve. Cool. Ah, man. All right. This goes on and on for a while, but we know a lot about Space Marines, relatively speaking, the company declared, but there is still so much we don't know about the custodians, particularly in Warhammer 40,000, and their recruitment process is the least of the mysteries. The company then listed a number of questions, blah, 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 blah. They also allow us to revisit factions through miniatures, stories, and animations and offer something new and interesting. Imagine how sad it would be if we ever said, "That's it, that's everything you'll ever see in this armor. No new models ever. That'd be rubbish," the company concluded. Okay. Let's see if there's. I'm sorry. This article goes on and on and on. You get the gist of it. Uh, it is what it is. You're either gonna eat it up and accept it, and you're gonna be like, well, it's my hobby, and I'm gonna stick with it regardless, or you're gonna hate it and you're gonna vomit it out, and you're gonna tell Games Workshop to go f themselves. I mean that is a real possibility. There's another story I wanted to go over with this. Uh, Also from that Park Place here. I promise we'll get off of that Park Place here in a little while, but they had quite a few new stories. This one, Warhammer hobbyists mock Games Workshop for scrapping their lore and making female Adeptus Custodes. Numerous Warhammer hobbyists have taken to mocking Games Workshop for scrapping its Warhammer 40k lore, making female Adeptus Custodes, and claiming they always existed. Games Workshop introduced female Adeptus Custodes in the most recent Codex Adeptus Custodes, with an excerpt stating Custodian Calades Torvalia Kesh stood upon the bridge of a Cobra-class destroyer named Vigilant Flame. The warship belonged to the mighty Battlefleet Solar. She lingered in the shadows at the back of the bridge, positioned at a spot where she could observe the action of every crew member, be they in the instrumentation pit, at the armament shrines, or in the case of Shipmaster Lethwick, stood ramrod straight before his command throne. Blah, blah, blah. The official Warhammer account on X confirmed the authenticity of the excerpt and declared that female Custodes have always existed. Yeah, this is patently untrue. Former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kearns, aka Grums, shared an excerpt from the Rogue Trader rules in 1987. It states the Adeptus Custodes is the Emperor's inner guard, the members of which are privileged in being permitted to serve upon the Emperor, attending to his needs, receiving and recording his directions. These men never leave Earth and only rarely leave the Imperial Palace, an endless black hive of forbidden technology and subterranean passages delving deep within the bowels of the planet. So, right there. These men never leave Earth, he highlighted. Right there. He also shared excerpts from the 2017 and 2018 Adeptus Custodes codexes. They referred to them as the Brotherhood of Demigods and make it clear that they were recruited from the sons of nobles. One excerpt reads, "It is known that all custodians begin their lives as the infant sons of the noble house of Terra. It is a mark of incredible prestige to surrender one's child to the most glorious of callings within the Imperium, and many noble clans among the aristocracy have willingly given up almost entire generations of newborn sons to earn it." Yeah, there you go. Despite the lie, Games Workshop has since doubled and tripled down. First, the company doubled down in a blog post on their Warhammer community website. Instead of noting that Adeptus Custodes are recruited from the sons of nobles, the blog post states potential custodians are taken in at a very young age to better survive the rigors of their transformation, no older than late infancy, for the fundamental changes that will be wrought upon their flesh, minds, and souls are tantamount to apotheosis. It is considered a great honor for those of Turan noble houses to submit a child. So they just flat out rewrote it and said, "Nah, it's always been this way." Hey, what do you mean? Just because you could read, huh? That means it's so? No, f you. Most recently, the company had tripled down, introducing a female custodian in the Warhammer Plus animated series, The Ties. Also, Warhammer Plus, okay, and claimed that Custodes can be any gender. On the official Warhammer community website, Games Workshop revealed Tyrith, Shiva, Kairos, the first three, blah, blah, blah. I already read this. Yeah. Going through all this, they pretty much copy and pasted from the other article. But yeah. So Warhammer enthusiasts are not having any part of it and have taken to mock Games Workshop and their lies and simultaneously prove J.R.R. Tolkien's comments in his essay on fairy stories true. Tolkien detailed that a storymaker proves himself a success or a successful sub-creator when he makes a secondary world which your mind can enter. Inside it, what he relates is true. It accords with the laws of that world. You therefore believe it while you are, as it were, inside. Yeah, and well, no, he kind of ripped apart people. Tolkien, that is, pronouns, pal. If you can't stick within the lore, if you can't play within the bounds and the rules of the world created before you, and you just come in, take someone else's creation and crap on it, or even if you take your own creation, I give no quarter to those that say, well, it's theirs, they can do with it what they want. Sure, but you set up this whole world, you expect people to buy into it, and then you crap on it. Not like even when it comes down to people like George Lucas that did that kind of crap, I hated it. Of course, Disney like makes George look like nothing with what they've done to the Star Wars property, but it's Warhammer, it's Tolkien, it's everything. They can't play within the bounds of the rules set by the creator of this world and this IP and this lore. And I don't care if it's the same people from Games Workshop adding to it and changing it and retconning it and whatever. It's dumb. I got into such an argument with a guy that claimed that he was some creator or whatever, and he worked in the film industry or some crap. I got into an argument with him on X one day because he's one of those. It's such a new age thing for people to be like, "Oh, lore is the death of storytelling" and whatever. I saw that being floating around X one day too, and that lore is stupid. We don't need lore. We don't need to stick to stuff like that. We need to just create and add on to and do whatever the hell we want when we want to do it, and to hell with everybody else and everything that came before us. It's the I don't get into like hard politics here. This is entertainment, but it's the Kamala Harris thing of think about what could be unburdened by what has been and all that crap. It's such a stupid, evil phrase. Just like the lore is the death of story. Lore is literally storytelling. You build a world. Why do you build a world just to crap on it? I know why they take other people's lore and other people's worlds and crap on it because they're not creative. They want to take an IP that got successful on its own, that somebody else who is creative made it, and then and take that built-in audience and piss them off by ruining the lore, by ruining the storytelling. That's why you see all this. I keep getting flooded with the same people. It's the same people over and over that keep sharing the renew the Acolyte and whatever, and they just won't let it go. We need a season 2 of the Acolyte. Sure we do, buddy. Sure we do, little guy. Nobody wants a season 2 of The Acolyte. Disney definitely doesn't, because it was an insanely expensive show that nobody effing watched. And I kept swearing I wasn't going to watch it. I did watch it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but my wife did. And I would come in and watch bits and pieces of episodes. I went, my God, it's awful. And I will say this, and I said this from the beginning. The way they laid out the story to begin with, the story idea, and the way they set things up was an interesting concept, and it could have worked if smart, creative people with any ounce of humility and self-respect and intelligence were actually writing this and running the show. But no, we get Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant running the show, and she wants to make it the gayest Star Wars ever, and is super into it when people say that. Apparently, is that's a new thing. Oh, it wasn't even gay, whatever. Like, really? Because she said she was super into it when people said it was the gayest Star Wars ever, and yeah, they just keep pointing to the lesbian space witches. Like, yeah, I mean that was a big thing, but that wasn't the whole reason. It was just a badly written show, and I feel like they made it just to uh, lecture people who like Star Wars and to crap on the Jedi for some reason. I don't know what this chick's thing with the Jedi is. Throughout the whole show, she was drilling the Jedi. She was having different characters talk about how they were oppressive and terrible and whatever. God, it was ugly. Either way. But yeah, so that's Warhammer killing their own product. Vote with your wallet. If you people like it, if Warhammer fans like it, buy it. Support it, pump it out there more. Let them know, hey, keep retconning it, keep disrespecting us, keep lying to us, keep gaslighting us. Awesome. We'll keep it is not a cheap hobby. I've looked into tabletop games and stuff before. There's no way I'd spend that kind of money on it, especially when I'm getting disrespected and being gaslit and lied to and told that I'm an idiot and everything else. No, thank you. No, thanks. I'm good. It's a very expensive game, so and hobby. So if you want to get into it, that's your thing. More power to you. It is not anything I would spend my money on just to get metaphorically kicked in the testes by the makers. Pulling up the next articles here. I will say this. It is while I'm taking a break here to pull these up. It is about to hit winter time here in Ohio, where I am. The hell? It is about to hit winter time. It's getting into fall, I'll say, and you can feel it, which I like. But uh, the thing, like, normally I dread the winter because I'm like, man, it gets so cold. I gotta wear a jacket. Got to turn on the damn heat, etc., etc. But the bugs have been so bad this year, and it's been so hot. I'm like, I'm over it. I'm like, bring it on, baby. Bring on bring on the fall. I will gladly put on a hoodie and a long sleeve shirt. But yeah, either way. That's another thing. Every single year when it transitions into fall, I get sick. My wife usually gets sick. I get very sick. This is about the time of year, and it's around my birthday too, so that really sucks. This is when I got the vid. You know what I mean? A couple of years ago, I was down for the count for a while, lost a lot of weight, was very sick. My wife and I had it pretty much at the same time, although the worst of mine was first, and so she could help take care of me. And then the worst of hers was after me when I started to recover, so I could help her. So thank God for that. Either way, let's get into. Oh gosh, freaking advertisement. I was about to share the story I want to cover. Advertisements are popping up. Don't want to do that. All right. Star Wars Outlaws. Let's get into that. Bounding into comics here. Switching the hat up. Here we go. All right. Star Wars Outlaws creative director tries to spin disastrous launch, says millions of people are going to play for years and years following improvements. Before we even get into this, I'm going to get on a little soapbox here with this. Can we quit with these? They're never going to. But these freaking games and people just accept it now. Day 1, I don't know if I'm ever gonna buy a game at launch ever again, ever, because every single game you get is gonna be like that. It's going to be buggy, possibly just flat out broken, like Cyberpunk 2077, and there's always they're like, "Oh, it's okay, a patch is coming." A day 1 patch, or a day 2 patch. You shouldn't have to patch a game in the first week. That shouldn't happen. There have been so many games where they basically use us as beta testers. And it's not fair, especially for the price we pay. Go F yourself. But here's Star Wars in declaration in declaration that comes across as a massive cope by any metric. Following the disastrous launch of Star Wars Outlaws, the game creative director has claimed that supposedly forthcoming improvements will turn the title into one that millions of people will play for years and years. Sure. As anyone who has either played the game for themselves or watched their favorite streamer take it for a spin can attest, Outlaws is less a finished title and more of a slapdash collection of playable game builds. It's actually playable moments strung together with bug after annoying, even game breaking bug. Yeah, I don't know if this is everybody across the board. I'll say, because some people have been, but then again, I hear that with every game. There's the people that's like, "What do you mean? The game will be completely broken, unplayable," and there's gonna be a handful of people that, "Oh, what are you talking about? It works great for me." Oh, well, you're the one. Good for you. We can't all be the boy with a golden butthole, okay? But either way, and that last bit is not an exaggeration. In addition to its widely reported graphics and gameplay bugs, including one which causes protagonist Kay Vess's character model to become unaligned with her speeder bike, and another which causes the enemy AI to completely short circuit for absolutely no reason, PS5 players who began playing during the game's early access period were forced to completely restart their saves after Ubisoft released a day 1 patch. That is unacceptable in every way, shape, or form. My God. I have fighting cats right now. Hold on a second. My God, you ever have to yell at cats? But it's insanely unacceptable. Where it's like you have to completely just restart your save after the day 1 patch. Like, you've got to be kidding me. So your game is unplayable and is broken on day 1 that you just dropped a ton of money on, and you have to wait for this patch to come out just so you can enjoy it. To this end, it should come as no surprise that in light of both of these issues, the audience's overall exhaustion with all things Disney Star Wars Outlaws' initial reception has been rough, to say the least. For proof, look no further than the fact that in their review of the game, even Kotaku could not ignore the fact that it is a technical disaster, with writer John Walker even observing, in 2024, we have reached the most deeply peculiar place where AAA games are feats of humanity that would once have recognized as literal wonders and yet play with the same irritating issues and tedious repetition we saw in the 90s. This contrast, this dissonance is absolutely fascinating. Yeah, it looked like a lot of repetitive gameplay, I'll say that. and the speeder bike crap looked honestly annoying. I had no excitement when I saw that. And I did a video. If you look in the archives, I did a video. Uh, I didn't unmute myself. Playing some of the game, or not playing the gameplay, but showing some of the gameplay. That it was like video after video compiled in an article, and I just went through all of it and looked through it all, and I showed you all, and then people were replying to the videos like, "Oh, I can't wait to watch to play this game." I'm like, "Good for you, man." Uh, I don't know. I got like mixed reviews on that one on my YouTube channel. Uh, Rumble, I didn't really get any comments on it. So, hey, all of you, if you can start commenting on the Rumble side of things, that'd be great. I appreciate your YouTube comments. I check them daily, and I try to interact with good, bad, and indifferent. I'm trying to interact with the bad ones a little less, because it just I can't take it anymore. But either way, yet despite its failings, Outlaws creative director Julian DeRighty, Gerighty thinks that with time and improvements, the game will become a bona fide gaming classic. Wow. I'm a little disappointed with the Metacritic, with the Metacritic, where the game currently holds a 76 out of 100 critical score and a 5.4 out of 10 user score. Recognition from critics is very important to us, but I do think players are really connecting with what we did. They're not. The Ubisoft dev told Games Radar's Josh West during a recent post launch interview. Quote, "We had a very ambitious target. We literally reached for the stars, and I think we were successful from so many different angles. You weren't. There's a magical, unique experience within Outlaws, whether it's Star Wars or not. Uh, is the magical, mystical, awesome experience I give you a ton of money and you give me a broken game? Is that what it is? Because that's not much of a good experience, man." Quote, "I think Outlaws has such long legs that it will be a game that millions of people are going to play for years and years, and we're never going to stop improving it," he then declared before laughing. "Well, okay, that's a lie. We'll probably stop improving it eventually, but today my mind is not on stopping." That's insane. You shouldn't have to keep improving it. Like, if you wanna drop some DLC levels or something like that, like, that's one thing. I get it, more bang for your buck and all that crap. But, like, literally, what the hell, man? Uh, oh my god, this guy on X just won't leave me the F alone. He's writing, like, books. But anyway, you have to when you launch a game, especially that big, that you're charging that much money for, you're hyping up that much, and Ubisoft is not in a good spot right now. It does not have a lot of people that have their back at all right now, and there's so much like negativity surrounding Star Wars and Ubisoft, and then you drop this. You got to be damn near perfect, okay? So I I can't get over that they think in the year of our Lord 2024, it's still okay to launch such big, expensive games that have been hyped up, a- and they're broken. Why? I'm just freaking blown away. Let's see. I got one more article about this. We'll get into. Sorry, taking care of sharing some stuff out there, trying to build the audience here. Let's see. We'll definitely talk Goonies here in a bit. Uh all right. Let's get into this here really quickly. I don't want to keep you waiting. I was at quartering, I'd do that. Doobie doobie doo. Does that every time he's pulling up a new article. Here we go. Star Wars Outlaw lead actress claims the video game industry tends to have a lot of limitations and misogyny and kind of in and out politics of who can be a part of it and who you want to play as. What? Like literally, what? According to Star Wars Outlaws lead actress Umberly Gonzalez, Ubisoft's decision to center the game exclusively on a female protagonist proves a stark contrast to the limitations and misogyny regularly seen throughout the video game industry. Sure. Gonzalez, who appears in the recently released title as protagonist Kay Vess, offers her take on the subject during a recent post-launch interview given to Comics Gaming Magazine. Okay. Amidst a general discussion of her time working on the game, the actress was eventually pressed by her host as to how she felt not only serving as the voice and the body of Star Wars Outlaws, but also leading this male dominated universe and having it be women first right now. Oh, yeah. That that was another thing I addressed in a video about this where I don't know if it was regarding this game or not, but they were like, "Oh, 50% of the gaming community are women." Like, no, they're not. Yes, a lot of women do play video games. I'm not going to pretend that they don't. It's not all men, is for sure. But I guess it depends on what you consider male dominated. Because yes, it's mostly men. And then when your girl power games fail, and then you're like, "Oh, but why?" Like, okay, girl power games don't always fail, and then there's games like Metroid, Samus is a female, Tomb Raider, obviously Lara Croft is a female. Those games are usually fairly successful in in the male video game space, and I know there are others I'm blanking on right now, but like this is not the way to do it. This is not the way to go about it. You're gonna drive people off. I'll say that, and maybe I don't know, like the new thing is just like insult people and you hope that they still watch your crap, and when they don't watch your crap, complain. Like, "Oh my god, why is nobody why is nobody watching?" Like we told them this isn't for them. We told them that this isn't we told them that this isn't this is about a strong independent women that don't need no man, and this woman is like smacking stormtroopers through their helmet, knocking them out. The gameplay is just god awful. We didn't give a damn about that. Uh, but why aren't they watching? Why aren't they watching? And why aren't they playing? Uh, let's see. Let's see what she had to say. In turn, Gonzalez asserted, "Yes, to be a leading woman, not just in Star Wars story, but in the video game industry, which also tends to have a lot of limitations and misogyny, and kind of an in and out of politics of who can be a part of it and who you want to play as. I'm incredibly proud of the team, having chosen someone like me, but also only me, that there isn't a male counterpart to the story of Star Wars Outlaws, that we are focusing on a female point of view of a scoundrel story because we've only really ever seen males in a scoundrel position," she continued. "So the position or representation is incredible for me as an immigrant Latina in Canada to bring to even get to speak about my country, about Venezuela, about what it means to me as an artist. I followed my dream, not having any of my family here, not having a lot of mentors in the family or anyone to look up to or consent to or content to look up to." Okay, I guess I is she talking about specifically in video games, or is she an actress? Like I don't know. I'll make a point about representation here in a minute, but I want to finish what she says here. Even in Star Wars, there aren't a lot of Latinas in this space. The actress added, and so for me, I know that this was going to mean a lot, not just to me and my community and my family, but to everybody else who's watching it too and playing it. Further elaborating on her thoughts, Gonzalez then explained when they go, "Oh, this is a cool character. I wonder where they're from." And then they do the research. I just want people to feel seen. And it can be in any of the categories as a woman of color, as an immigrant, as a Latina. Any of those are meaningful to someone who enters a franchise as big as Star Wars. Why is that a thing? Like, okay, yeah, you're representing your race, your gender, your country, your occupation, your whatever the F. Okay, I guess. Cool. You get some representation in there, I guess. I I can kind of understand it to a certain extent, but I'm so tired of seeing these where they're like, I could never see myself represented in whatever because nobody had the same skin color as me in whatever. Like, get the F out of here, man. Like, are you kidding me? Is that all it takes? If I see other white people in something, I'm not like, "Oh, man, that's for me." And I know the popular refrain is gonna be, "Oh, well, white people are in everything." Yeah, yeah, okay. Uh, but I'm sorry, I'm never gonna see a middle-aged well, not middle-aged yet. I'm never gonna see a young white man in something and be like, "You know what? That's for me. That's my stuff right there." Like, I've said this before. One of my favorite video games that I've been playing is Ghost of Tsushima. And I can't identify with a samurai from feudal Japan whatsoever, and I love playing that game. Red Dead Redemption 2, when I play that, yeah, he's a white man. I can't identify with that. Do I look like that character? I guess if you're looking at the beard and skin color and my gender, you could be like, "Yeah, sure, you kinda look like" no, I'm nothing like that. I can't identify with that. I can't identify with Master Chief in Halo, any of my favorite games. Uh, I was thinking about this the other day. I love playing Uncharted. I'm on the 3rd one now. I'm like, "Man, I know I'm supposed to feel represented, I guess, according to these people by looking at, like, Nathan Drake." I'm like, "Uh, I can't identify with this character at all. It's a fun ass game. I love the Nathan Drake character. I can't identify with it. I just watched Alien. I got. I'm not going to argue with these people because you like what you like, but I posted a review of Alien Romulus recently. I don't think there's any white men in that movie, and I didn't give a damn. I was like, whatever. They're all like Latina or Asian or mixed race or black, and I loved the movie. I'm like, oh, cool, and I didn't even think for a second, "Oh, there are no white people, like, as main characters." I don't care. That kinda stuff doesn't bother me. Uh, I don't know why that's a big sticking point where, "Oh, I'm a Latina actress that gets to be in a Star Wars game." Like, cool, I guess that's a cool, personal accomplishment, whatever, but, uh, when she's like, "Oh, people are gonna look up to see where this character's from," I'm like, "No, they're not." Nobody's ever gonna do that. Nobody's ever gonna play Star Wars Outlaws and be like, "I wonder where Kay Vess is from," like the actress that portrays her. All right, whatever. But either way, for the sake of the people who dropped all that money on that game, I will say I hope they did fix it. I hope they fix it more. I still think at the end of the day, it's a crap ass looking game. The gameplay looked just god awful. The takedowns were laughable. She would like shoot somebody in the kidneys like one time and they're done. The AI couldn't see her right in front of their face. It was oh my god. And that speeder bike looked just insane. If you want to see like actual videos, like I said, I did a video. I've got clips in it of the gameplay and I comment on it and whatever. So if you want to go check that out. But all right, let's move on to. I told you it's going to be a very games heavy episode. I want to talk about this. I heard about the retro GameStop. I keep forgetting to go. I have a GameStop right up the road from me, but it's not one of the ones participating. I have to drive. It's like a 20-minute drive or 15, 20-minute drive to the closest one to me doing the retro GameStop. I keep forgetting to freaking go. I don't know if they're still doing it, but I hope so. Either way, this is kind of about that. Let me close this. Yada yada. All right. As players grow tired of activism in games, GameStop announces plans to bring back retro titles and consoles. I I like how they have the Dreamcast right there. Like that's the one everybody's pining for. Is bring back the Dreamcast, one of the biggest bombs in video games. It had Soul Calibur. That was cool, you know. But either way, GameStop is making a bold move with its new retro program. The program will bring back classic retro consoles such as Game Boy, Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, PlayStation 1 and 2, Xbox 360, and more to certain well-established GameStop locations. Here we go. Here's the whole list. The NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy N64, Nintendo DS, the Wii U, all these. F out of here. All right. Dreamcast, Genesis, Sega Saturn. My God. PS Vita, PS3. Has enough time passed where we're pining for the PS3? I mean, I guess so. It's like 2 PlayStations ago, but that was another one. It didn't bomb per se, but that was a disaster. I was so glad I got an Xbox 360 because I was still young when those consoles came out. And for Christmas one year, sorry, I got a bad hangnail that's literally bleeding all over me. I know that's what you all want to hear, but anyway, for Christmas I got the Xbox 360. I was like, don't get me a PS3. And up until that point, I had been a PlayStation guy, but I got into Halo. My God, my cats are stupid. I got into Halo. I got into Xbox 360. As soon as I got it, I started paying for the membership and all that. So, yeah, but PS2 was the shiznit back in the day, man. I have a Super Nintendo. I think I still have my Game Boy Color somewhere, maybe, perhaps. I never had the N64. I had a PlayStation 2. Never had an Xbox. I had a GameCube. I loved GameCube. That was awesome. Yeah, I don't know. It was like GameCube or Xbox at that time, and I got a GameCube. Never liked Xbox. Xbox had like these big. I don't know if people remember. They were some honking, freaking fat ass controllers. I just hated them. Didn't like the grip, but giggity. This launch comes just after the Xbox 360 marketplace shut down. Sucks. I still have my 360, by the way, plugged in out in my living room. I never use it because most of my 360 games that I care to ever play again are also playable on my Xbox One. So I just play that. But either way, the unfortunate event has left many gamers yearning for a way to preserve their favorite titles. If successful, this move could be a game changer and lead to more consoles being added, new store locations, and even other retailers jumping on board. That would be sick. However, its process hinges on the pricing and availability of the most sought after games. With the rise of digital games and other changes in the industry, GameStop has been dealing with a pretty steep decline and layoffs over the last decade. Nevertheless, one of the best known video game stores has overcome the toughest times and is adapting to new circumstances. Gosh, I can't talk. GameStop ventured into selling gaming merchandise with toys, shirts, and more, which was very smart. However, F out of here. However, it's still a key place where gaming enthusiasts can find hardware, including headsets, controllers, and consoles. By reinforcing some of its consoles that changed the industry for the better decades ago, GameStop plans to bring back retro game collectors to the stores. That's perfect. This is awesome. That was another thing before Greg passed away. He and I used to talk about this. we had a guy that we mutually know that he actually introduced Greg and I as friends years ago, and he was a GameStop apologist. He was obsessed with GameStop. He loved that place, and he acted like everything was fine. He was whistling past the graveyard with it, and we kept saying, "Dude, if they don't evolve, because everything is going digital, if they don't evolve, they're going down." But retro gaming has become so popular over the last, I'd say, especially 5 years, that why not do this? We talked about emulators where you can't find certain games. So, like, because we talked about how ethical it was, and we said if it's a brand new game that you're pirating, that's not cool, man. That's not ethical. There's nothing kosher about that. But when you're taking games off the market and you literally can't find it anywhere, you can't play it anywhere, but you want to. If it was made available for money, you would give them your money to play this game, but you can't. It's just gone, gone forever, bro. What are you supposed to do? If you want to play it bad enough, you're gonna have to emulate it. You're gonna have to find an emulator and do what you do. But yeah, that's there for about I paid for the year-long membership when I first got my Nintendo Switch. I got the retro stuff that they got with all the former Nintendo systems. They had just a ton of games on there, and then they had like some Sega games and whatever. I paid for that. I'm not much of a retro gamer, so I didn't play it a lot. I like to play new stuff. It's just how I am. But uh, a lot of people like it. There's a huge market for it, and GameStop already evolved, like I said, with selling merchandise. I can get figures in there if I want. They have different figurines and toys and whatever. They have gaming like memorabilia and statues. They have T-shirts, hats, Funko Pops, you name it, and hardware. They sell hardware. The one thing they didn't have, oddly, was from the day I took my Xbox One out of the package, the power brick overheated after it varied, but at most it would be like 30 to 40. I'd give it 45 minutes. If I played longer than 45 minutes, that power brick would overheat and shut off, and I'd have to take it all apart, the cord, and let it cool down. Normally, I'd go and I'd stick it up in my freezer for about 10 minutes, and then I'd pull it out. It was ice cold, and I could play again. But from the day I got it, the only way to prevent that is I have like a little desk fan. I had to put the desk fan on high, pointed right at it, and that would keep it cool, which sucked and it was impractical. And I called Xbox about this to report this. I was like, "It's defective," and they pretty much told me, "Oh well, tough." And I didn't feel like taking it back to the store and getting a whole new system because the power brick effed up. And I kept putting it off, putting it off. I'm like, whatever. If I don't have to spend more money, I got the fan, whatever. And then it crapped out on me last winter. And I'm like, crap. Well, I bet GameStop sells a replacement. They do not. I'll tell you this: nobody sells a replacement. Nobody except Amazon, and it's not Microsoft brand. I had to find one. I'm not going to tell you what brand it is now. And like I said, it's almost a year ago I bought it. But I had to find like an off-brand power brick that fit an Xbox One, had enough power to power the Xbox One. It sounds like a goddamn jet taken off for the first like 5 minutes that it's on. It's weird, but it gets the job done, does the trick, whatever. It didn't cost me. It was like $15 or something like that. So, but I was just pissed. I'm like, ugh, should have replaced this years ago. I never did. And but who's to say? It might have crapped out on me anyway. But yeah, there you go. Evolution of GameStop. There's a positive story for you. I'm throwing in. I'm not all negative here today. And I did push a movie that apparently got panned. So, but yeah, I'm batting 1,000, baby. Here we go. And no, I don't obviously I've been going for over an hour on the stream, everybody. Thank you for joining me if you have so far. I do want to say if you want to interact with me on social media, you can check me out. I am on X and Instagram at main or I'm sorry, at marks_on_media. Let's see. Sorry, see Harvey Weinstein is trending. What the crap? Some of this stuff. I guess he went in for heart surgery. See, Harvey Weinstein was urgently transferred to from Rikers Island to Bellevue Hospital for emergency heart surgery after suffering chest pains. Comes days before his scheduled court appearance. Huh. Well, he is a goblin, so I didn't know he had a heart. That's shocking, honestly. But yeah, sorry, I didn't know if there was I mean that is breaking news, whatever, but just like and people are saying what they're gonna say. You know, I'm not I can't say some of it here and stay monetized. So yeah. But either way, if you want to follow me on social media, let me show you. Here you go. At marks_on_media. I am not verified because I am not paying for social media. F that. You can also follow me. It's the same on Instagram. On Facebook, it is, I believe, Marks on Media Tube. Because everything else was taken. Let's see. YouTube. Oh, and I may have another story I need to cover here in just a moment. God dang it. Stupid cats. Stupid dog, you made me look bad. Please tell me people out there get that reference. But yes, facebook.com/Marks on Media Tube. I check that every once in a while. So hit me up on there as well. If you want to follow me on YouTube, please do. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to follow me, please follow me and click or subscribe rather, and click the notification bell to be notified every time I post brand new content. I do post new stuff every day, Monday through Friday. I got a new video coming tomorrow. I finished watching the new season of Demon Slayer a little while ago, the Hashira training arc. I'll just say it wasn't super impressive. It was okay. Sad. I freaking love Demon Slayer. Okay. And it just it disappointed me. It was so boring. They have one more chance to blow their load, and it's going to be in the trilogy of films they got coming out, the Infinity Castle arc. They did not do it there. Oh my God, my wife was right. I got irritation right there. I wore a contact the other day that scratched the hell out of my eyeball. Rumble, by the way. Let me pull up because I got it all written out here. But here we go. But anyway, if you want to watch on YouTube, if you're not watching on YouTube, you want to watch on YouTube, youtube.com/@marksonmedia. Rumble is rumble.com/C/marksonmedia. So check me out on there. I was recently informed. On media. I was recently informed because I was sending people to my user channel where you can see both Main Event Marks and Marks on Media. And people were like, you shouldn't do that. So rumble.com/C/Marks on Media. If you want to join my locals, I will post exclusive content on there once I start getting members. It is locals.com/Marks on Media/feed. I am on kick.com/Marks on Media. X and Twitter, I already told you, it's Marks_on_media. Same on Instagram. Facebook is Marks on Media Tube. Let's get back into the show. I don't have a heart out today, so I'm gonna pull some overtime with the shoot job, but it comes later. And well, I'll tell you after this. Let's get back into this, and in the transition, I'll talk about Rings of Power. What little I have to say about it. All right, Dustborn developer Red Thread Games whines about tidal wave of hate and abuse amid criticism. We have zero tolerance for hate speech, harassment, and threats of any kind. Sure, man. The developer of Dustborn has condemned the tidal wave of hate and abuse they claim is coming from gamers who have critiqued the game. Yeah. You mean like everyone? Red Thread Games gave a statement on X attempting to sandwich a rejection it received from gamers with more positive news. Since we first announced Dustborn, we've read your comments and listened to your feedback, hopes, and wishes for the game. Everybody's wish is that you go away. Over the past 4 years they've been developing this garbage. Our team has poured their hearts into telling a story that's deeply meaningful to us. I'll eat ass. No, this isn't meaningful to a single person. Shut up. A story about the power of words, about building a world where everyone can feel safe, about love, friendship, and robots. So, robots, of course. I was going to say robotics. We expected Dustborn to spark conversation and debate. No, dude. And looked forward to engaging with our players in a positive and constructive fashion. Unfortunately, that conversation has been drowned out by a tidal wave of hate and abuse, the studio bemoaned. Hate, yes. Not the kind they're talking about, but I like how every once in a while, like, dude, every single person gets crap talked to them and thrown at them on social media. These people just whine and cry the most. Shut the F up, man. We welcome thoughtful feedback and respectful criticism. No, you don't. We embrace discussion and debate. No, you don't. But we have zero tolerance for hate speech, which isn't real, harassment, and threats of any kind. Nobody's threatening you. Shut up. Those who engage in such behavior will be removed from our community. Go for it. Just freaking do it, man. Do it. To everyone else, thank you for coming to this journey with us. All 5 players, by the way. Your support means everything, and your constructive feedback continues to push us to learn and evolve. Together, let's continue to build a world where everyone can feel valued and empowered to share their stories. Red Thread Games championed. My God. If they could possibly put their head between their legs and like literally lick their own butt, this is it in word form. Like, man, they're just like this is the equivalent of like you're like rocking back and forth and crying in the shower while also scream yelling at somebody outside the bathroom for getting you the wrong ice cream or something. Quantum Dream, the publisher of Dustborn, under their third-party publishing label Spotlight, shared the developer's sentiments. Quote, "We want to express our heartfelt support for our partners at Red Thread Games. We stand united against hate in all of its forms and are committed to fostering communities built to blah, 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 blah. Put your head between your knees and self-ingratiate." However, it seems that the hatred being discussed is aimed squarely at Dustborn itself. Yeah, nobody's getting crapped on unless you come right out and you beg for people to come after you. It's it's that thing again, not to go back to the Acolyte, but it's that thing like with Amanda Stenberg saying the stupid stuff she does, and we'll get to Rachel Zegler saying the stupid stuff she does. It's one of them where you go out and you take a broom and you smack you smack a hornet's nest and it comes down like right on your head and you're like, "Oh my god, all these racist bees are stinging me. What's up with that?" Okay. You literally bring it on yourself. However, which developers have taken an insult to the diverse array of identities and political standings they try to portray. While the game has had positive reviews from critics, of course it does, user reviews on Metacritic are diabolical, with a 1.1 out of 10 from over 300 reviews. I'm shocked it has 300 reviews. Nobody's playing this game, as you can see here. Look at this Wednesday. Players 83. Holy God. Nonetheless, it should be noted that those who have not played a game can still leave a user review on Metacritic. In the opposite case, Steam user reviews for the game are mostly positive at this time of writing. Even then, the game has an all-time player peak of just 83 on Steam, achieved one day after launch. It's since fallen to less than 30 over 2 weeks later. My God. As such, it seems people rejected Dustborn from the start, to the point some review bombed the game in protest. So, what drove them to do so? And it's going to go through the game and whatever. I posted a video about this as well. I'm not going to go through it all. They basically live in a police state. And let's see. Okay, I got to go through some of these. While the game is touted as lackluster at best, the main gripes in user reviews come from the cast and story, a borderline parody of DEI and hard political left-focused stories seen in the last few decades. I honestly, like, if you told me this was a parody game making fun of the left, I'd buy it. Like, I don't mean I'd give money to buy this game. I mean, like, I'd believe that story. My God. Clips shared across X gave the worst first impressions of Dustborn, and even in-depth videos on YouTube only serve to drive the nail in the coffin. For example, the main characters sing their first song in the game's opening to prove they're a band to a justice officer. The song opens with the lyrics, "We're the aliens, we're the refugees. We walk among you, we're right behind you. Your time is past, your kind won't last." Oh my God. The song is in favor of those with superpowers who are persecuted in universe, though there are clear pro-immigration sentiments. Well, yeah. The other lyrics include "The bug is airborne, we're the new prawn, our kind is newborn." The justice officer warns the band that their song could be deemed offensive, and people here don't like politics with their entertainment. Yeah. This is the most cringe opening I've ever seen in a video game ever. Did they suggest that people who don't want politics in their entertainment are fascists? Yes, that's exactly what they're doing. Let's see. A pro-immigration song with such hostile lyrics would undoubtedly go down poorly at a time when in the real world, America finds immigration a dividing issue. On the other hand, the punk element of the band would mean lyrics and themes designed to offend mainstream opinions rather than parrot the slogans of politics and mega corporations. Yeah, lack of nuance is right. Look at all these characters. My good lord. She, her, of course. The hostilities continue in other scenes. Here we go. You can get triggered. See if I can play this real quick.
Fella you're with, the black kid, dresses like a writer. Does he know anything?
Trigger.
You are racist.
I said trigger. TR. Just pointing that out. You are racist. I love it. You can cancel people in the game. Oh, let's see. What is it? There's one where you get hit up for a three-way at one point. In Dustborn, there's a scene where robots want to give you a hand, but the main character gets triggered and insults the poor guy who wants to help. You can't skip the scene. You have to be toxic and insult the bro. LMAO, that's not inclusive.
Oh, hello.
Hey, what's the golem doing on the bus?
Ma'am, I'll be happy to serve as your driver.
Oh, what's going on? What?
I want to assure you that I'm fully capable of operating this
Hopefully you
vehicle.
can see that.
I don't mean that you have software, of course. You lack the paperwork, but I don't need any.
What is?
I'm not going to be mean to it.
What is that?
I don't know if
outfit
there's a
anyway?
way through, though.
Dream big.
Don't touch me. Hey!
What was that?
Yeah, what was that? Gross. Look at this eclectic group of what the Fs. Most diverse group of people ever. Dustborn really starting to draw me in. Here, let's see what this is.
Contributing to the whole folk horror vibe.
Do not speak ill of Junior Justice. They're adorable.
This place looks like something from a Western movie.
What do you mean
what
by
the
a
hell is
Western
this?
movie?
As in not Asian or African or South American.
Western movie. As in a Western.
See. This causes Sai and Noam to launch into a tirade against Theo, treating the term Western as not Asian or African or South American. When Theo clarifies he means cowboys and Indians, the latter term only sparks more outrage from the pair, especially with American Indians helping propagate the myth created by genocidal imperialists.
You know, with cowboys, Indians.
Oh, here we
Hey,
go.
I'm the Indian here. You mean indigenous peoples.
I think
No, I mean
American
Indian.
Indians is acceptable.
Sure. If you want to propagate a myth created by genocidal imperialists.
Oh my God. Why? Another element that made people disgusted was Dustborn. With Dustborn was Vox's powers, which can be used in both combat, or both in combat and when dealing with other NPCs. The most basic of these is Push, which will manifest as an unseen force, knocking people back or down, and others are akin to temporarily brainwashing. Wow. That's inclusive. Let's see. Dustborn emphasizes the power of words and the importance of building an inclusive society where everyone belongs. Is that so, PC Gamer? Me looking at the game in any detail, it seems to indicate that it's doing everything in its power to create the complete opposite in every way. It just these characters are just like so angry and nasty and lecturing throughout the whole game, it looks like. Let's see. The above seems to hit the nail on the head. Dustborn is criticized as being an average game dragged down by a progressive skeleton that insults everyone outside a progressive activist mindset, even to the point of romanticizing harassment as superpowers. Yeah, and the thing was, this is European taxpayer funded. All this garbage you're seeing here. I am so glad. I am so glad. I'll go back to. Oh, I thought I stopped sharing there. But I will go back to the article here in just a moment. But I'm so glad here in America where like we give our taxpayer funding to some pretty crappy things. Hi, kitty. Hey. Hi, Noah. Noah says hi. That's his butt. Come on, dude. I don't want to get banned for your butt. Literally. But our taxpayer funds here in America go to some pretty crappy things. But they're not paying for DEI, the video game. They're not paying for Woke Simulator. Ow, dude. Oh my gosh. All right, come on. He doesn't get the hint. Come on, stay down. All right, let's look at this because now we get to the part where people are crying here. While the game's fandom wiki was sabotaged with abusive language and Nation of Islam Yaqub conspiracy theories, okay, it seems the hatred aimed at Dustborn wasn't because it was a bad game, but a disgusting one. Let's see. This said, though discussing only the protagonist perfectly summarizes the issue with Dustborn in direct reply. to Red Thread Games. The main character in Dustborn uses her powers to cancel, bully, hoax, manipulate, and gaslight others because they don't share her beliefs. You're the advocates of hate speech, harassment, and threats. Pax is not a hero. She's a sociopath, and you are not recognizing this is insane. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's, yeah, it's a bad game. It's a bad game. And they should be ashamed for throwing that thing out there, but nobody's playing it. They lost a lot of... I feel bad for the Europeans that had their taxpayer dollars stolen, basically, to fund this garbage. Oh, man. But speaking of garbage people, let's get into this here. Boop a doop boop 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 boo. Bam. Bah. Hold on. Oh yeah. Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Belair continues to play victim and attempts to deny her company's goal is to wokeify games. Let's hear it. Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Belair continued to trot out the victim card while also attempting to deny that her company's end goal was to wokeify and take over the video game industry. Really? In an interview with Black Girl Gamers on YouTube, of course. Look at this. That's all you need to see right there. Kim Belair, she, her. Licking ass. Belair said, I think of us almost as a patient zero of this wave of Gamergate. Excuse me. Gamergate. When I think of it, where it started, it was kind of the week that we had announced that we were on both Alan Wake 2 and Spider-Man 2, which are two, I think, popular games among the game community and players in general. Spider-Man 2, yes. Alan Wake 2, no. And Spider-Man 2 had a lot of criticisms, but Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man game went over really well. So, and Spider-Man's insanely popular. So, of course, it was going to make money. Of course, it was going to be popular. Unless they just completely just crap the bed, which they didn't. But they did uglify Mary Jane. Got to have that. Alan Wake 2, last I heard, did not do very well at all. And one of the makers of the game or producers of the game or whatever was coping and seething about that and just crying her little eyes out, calling out the chuds, the misogyny, for that. But either way, she continued immediately. I think the targeting began with this kind of like, we found the secret sinister website of Sweet Baby Inc. Meanwhile, we're on Twitter like, I'm just so excited to let people know that we worked on these two really great games. Nobody else is excited about it. And the assumption we essentially made that our work was essentially made that our work on that had not been story or narrative or character related. It had been to make a black character exist in Alan Wake 2 and put pride flags in Spider-Man 2. A straw man. I'm so tired. They pick like little details. It's like, oh, you just did the same thing with the Assassin's Creed. Oh, you just hate it because my black people or my pride flags in Spider-Man 2. Like it's a whole picture. All right, that's an element of it. And a black character existing in Alan Wake 2 is no, that's not an issue. Some people, I'm sure, had an issue with that, but those people are weird. That's not it. But anyway, and that was kind of like the assumption that we had wokeified the video games, Belair added. She continued, as a company, we worked on over 80 games together, so there was plenty of fodder for people to start going, oh, is this the reason that all these games are now woke? That they have people of color in them or queer people or any marginalized identities at all? Or even sometimes they perceive like, oh, this woman's design is not quite as it used to be, and I think it used to be hotter. So there's a lot of stuff that's been put on us, both things that we did work on, things that we didn't. And we kind of just became shorthand for the wokeification of gaming, she said. Okay, right here. Sensitivity reader. Risk assessment. That's not needed. You don't need a sensitivity reader. You don't need risk. The kind of risk assessment that they're doing is not the actual kind of risk assessment that's important. However, Bel Air made it abundantly clear that her entire goal and her company's goal was to wokeify gaming back in 2019 during the Game Developers Conference. She said, "None of what we're doing is about ticking boxes or about a veneer of wokeness. We actually have to care about making this stuff." Well, it was made. We just talked about it with Dustborn. Nobody bought it. They kind of wokeified. They did a wokeified version of it's like if you crammed Apex Legends with I can't even Overwatch, and you made it super duper gay and lame and ugly. That was Concord, and it was unoriginal. It was ugly. It was the gameplay looked okay, but the character design looked dumb, and it just nobody wanted it. And the company didn't ingratiate themselves to the fans, didn't endear themselves to anyone. So yeah, of course it's gonna bomb out. And they took that off the market with a quickness. So these games are just bombing out because you're putting out what you want and they're not doing well. And the video game industry as a whole is not healthy right now. But anyway, in fact, during that presentation, Bel Air made it clear that she would weaponize cancel culture to achieve her goals. She said, quote, if you're creative working in AAA, which I did for many years, put this stuff up to your higher ups. And if they don't see the value and what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want. Because they have to consider, I say that out loud as a joke, but it's actually very, very true. Because if you start to consider that the people who are player and audience facing, and you have to deal with the mitigating harm and with keeping the sentiment around their games and their projects positive, there's like a genuine value that you can impress upon them both ethically and financially. You could say this is important. She also elaborated, it's also a valid discussion to have because if you're working with a thin narrative budget and you work in AAA, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised or dismayed by the amount of money that marketing can give you. Yeah, so again, this is like weaponized. I'll say that this is weaponized incompetence. She puts out crap like that. And then there's evidence of a lot of the games that Sweet Baby Inc. worked on were adding little things here and there. And it's not about minorities in games. It's what are they doing? And it's not even, I'll say it's even the white people. Am I getting lectured by a white liberal character in your game? No thanks. Are you putting minorities in your game? I know everybody's like, oh, they have to be. This is some a-hole on X was trying to say this. If they're not in stereotypical roles like a rapper or a thief or something, like, oh, F off. Nobody ever wants that. But my thing is what we don't want is we don't want some self-righteous like BLM activist in every form of entertainment. That crap gets so cringy even when you drop it in, like in the Batman, when Catwoman dropped the line about Batman having white privilege or whatever. Like, eat a whole bag of Johnsons. It's cringy. It's immersion breaking. Nobody actually interacts like that in the real world outside of like like college towns where you have a bunch of like whiny college kids, or the coastal cities or whatever with a bunch of whiny liberals. Like in the middle of the country, the majority of the country, people don't act like that. They just don't. And they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to turn on a video game or a movie or a show and be lectured. They just don't. But yeah, so the fact that she's like, I don't know what it means. She knows exactly what they put in these games. They're a narrative development and consultation company based in Montreal. Yeah, so Canadian, I already don't trust them. No offense to any Canadian watchers, but ugh. But narrative development and consultation studio. Yeah, what they go over is, are your characters saying the right things? Are they doing the right things? Are they do you have X amount of this kind of person? We got to add more LGBT people in there. It's that kind of crap. And they're useless people that come in and tear your game apart, or tell you how to tear your game apart. They serve no purpose, and they contribute nothing to society, nothing of any use. But I think the tide is starting to turn on these kind of people. The last couple things I was talking about is actually good news. When games like Concord, which it was woke, but it wasn't like over the top, I guess. It was just, it wasn't good, and it was unoriginal. It was like they slap a rainbow flag over top of it, of an unoriginal idea, and they thought it was going to be great. And it took them 8 years to develop that damn thing, and it sucked. And then you got Dustborn, which is DEI, the video game, and all this other garbage that it's all failing one right after the other, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. The tide is starting to turn. We'll get into TV here in a little bit, but I did want to mention I have not watched The Rings of Power yet for this season. I'm dreading it. I've been really busy at work. Like, this is my busy season right now at work, and I just when I get some time away from work, I don't want to like bash my head against the wall from frustration. So I've seen pictures, I've heard things, I've seen clips. Let's see what season 1 and 2 both have a critic score of 83%. Who would have thunk it? Oh, that's season 1. Was I on season 2? Oh, season 2. Here we go. Excuse me. Rings of Power, 58% on the popcorn meter. Oi, let's look at let me show you what I'm looking at here. I shall share my work. Share with the class. I don't care if it follows the lore to a T. No, I read books because I love literature. I know when I'm lucky enough to get my nerd on the big screen. Okay. My 9-year-old son loved the opening scene with Sauron. Exact words, dang, he's hard to kill. I replied, son, that's a wizard, not some Avenger, LOL. Like, what the what? Are you and your son special? God. I have been enjoying this show much more than season 1. Really? I heard this season's even worse. Even the media shills have been crapping on it. Yes, I know it's not sticking to the source material in many, many ways, and is very silly in places. Why did the desert hobbit, desert. Why did the desert hobbit leave his stolen water outside exactly? Okay, I'll have to watch. But I regard it more as an homage rather than a true to source TV series. It's not an homage when you're disrespecting the work and you're just crapping all over the characters that a better, more creative man created. Let's see. I'll read this one. I'll be done. I thought season 1 showed a massive lack of respect and knowledge of Tolkien's writings. Oh no, it's back to the book, back to the book, back to the book. Come on, man. Unfortunately, this season is even worse. The only reason I watched the season was to see how badly they would handle Tom Bombadil, who didn't need to be in the show at all. The way they're inserting him in there is so stupid. Everything about how his character is handled shows how little they care about the source material. When you add in recycled lines, poor writing, poor acting, and mediocre special effects, it amounts to a waste of time. I could give it, if I could give it 0 stars, I would. That's another thing, the recycled lines, because not Gandalf, totally Gandalf in season 1 did the whole always follow your nose and whatever. And then we've got this season where they said something to Galadriel. It's in the trailer. They said something to Galadriel about that man, whatever they're talking about, Halbrand / Sauron. Spoilers. And she's all trembling. She's like, "That is no man," or "He is no man." That's it. He is no man. And it's recycled from Arwen, or excuse me, Arwen in the Lord of the Rings, if anybody remembers Return of the King, where she's out on the battlefield and because the whole thing with the Witch King is he can't be killed by a man. And she says, "I am no man." And like after she takes her helmet off and then friggin' just rams a sword into his helmet. And that was awesome. Oh, sorry. I think I froze up there for a minute. Anyway, that was awesome. My wife loved it. She loves girl power stuff doing it, as long as it's not cringy, she loves it. I loved it, and I'm as anti-woke as it gets, whatever, and a lot of people are. And I love all the people, "Oh, if this scene was around today," no, it was in the books. There was a reason for it. It's not like she was overpowered, whatever. She actually got her ass kicked a lot on the battlefield, or she weaved in and out of trouble. She had help from Mary, and was it Mary? I want to say it was Mary. And then she finally got it was Mary, and she got the big final blow in there, and her dad passes away. So I know, spoilers for a movie that's like 20 years old, but there wasn't anything like, they didn't make her a Mary Sue. And here's the other thing. She was feminine. She acted like a woman. She wasn't some rough and tumble girl boss that don't need no man, like in like how Galadriel's acting. And I don't expect Galadriel to be like boy crazy, prissy little dainty, "Oh, it's a spider, come save me," whatever. But she's not a warrior. That's like, they completely just crapped on the character of Galadriel in every way, shape, or form. She should not be the main character. It should be like an ensemble of main characters. And like, she's a very interesting and powerful character. She's not a warrior. They're completely misusing her. They're misusing Elrond. They made Celebrimbor into a complete, Celebrimbor. They made him into a complete idiot. Like, he's supposed to be the greatest smith in all of Middle Earth, but he doesn't know what the hell an alloy is. And Halbrand had to show him. Nobody could figure out that Halbrand, like, nobody did like 2 seconds of research to figure out that Halbrand was full of crap and he was actually Sauron. Give me a break. But yeah, anyway. And Galadriel's just insufferable throughout the whole movie, or show, excuse me. All right. Speaking of woke video games, we are wrapping her up here with the video game stuff. I think this is my last. Yep. Smash JT threatens legal action after Forspoken consultants Black Girl Gamers copyright strike his YouTube channel. That's low down dirty. Like, you're gonna copyright strike. If you hard strike a channel, you can go F yourself, man. Black Girl Gamers, the video game consultancy outfit run by J. Ann Lopez, issued a copyright strike against YouTuber and critic Smash JT. In a post to his website, Smash JT shared, Black Girl Gamers has decided to abuse YouTube's flawed copyright system to silence dissenting voices, specifically, in this case, my own. He then shared a screenshot of the copyright strike against his channel. The strike was issued on Smash JT's video titled Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Belair declares war on gamers and covers a video featuring commentary from J. Ann Lopez, Kim Belair, and The Verge staff writer Ash Parrish. Smash JT later added, BGG's actions are not just inappropriate, they're a calculated effort to control the narrative by attacking content creators and sharing them from and scaring them from taking or talking about them and those who challenge their perspectives. Striking down a very popular viral video, nearly 200,000 views already in a couple of days, that offered a critical viewpoint is beyond a desperate move, one that shows they're more interested in silencing opposition than engaging in any meaningful discourse. Well, yeah, these people, they're not going to talk to you. They don't want to have a conversation. They want to lecture you. They want to demand things out of you. They want free stuff, and then you shut your mouth, white boy. That's what they want. They don't actually want discourse. They don't want discussion. They don't want to know your opinion. They don't want to be called out on anything. And then they want to cry and whine, why are the racist bees stinging me after I smack the hornet's nest? He has since published a video on Rumble. Good for you, buddy. I love Rumble. I'm not saying it sounded sarcastic, but it's not. Rumble's awesome. I'm using Rumble Studio right now to stream. Rumble is a great platform. And I'm not going to get into the tenant media stuff and whatever, but the people who, like Lauren Shen, who had their channel just unceremoniously deleted, permabanned, without a trial, without any laws. If laws were broken, sure, whatever. But no trial, no investigation, boom, deleted. Gone forever, bro. That's it's sickening. It's sickening that YouTube does that. I hope I don't get demonetized for that, but you know, I don't know. Live streams are hard to stay monetized. Anyway, he's published it to Rumble, who is frequently tells people to go pound salt, and shared that he will potentially be pursuing a legal action against Black Girl Gamers for the copyright strike. He informed Black Girl Gamers, retract the strike claim immediately on the following Smash JT video, or I will be contacting my lawyer and pursuing legal action against your false copyright claim on my channel. Your abuse of the YouTube copyright system here, attempting to create a narrative and hide valid criticisms and opinions of others, is a direct shot at the freedom of speech. This is not what the copyright system is intended for. Is intended for use, and you know that, he added. He concluded, this will be my only communication about this matter. Yep. You don't have to go further than that, really. Lopez and Black Girl Gamers are no stranger to attempting to silence critics. She and her company attempted to do so to That Park Place at the end of March. That Park Place published an article titled, Forspoken Consultant Black Girl Gamers Appears to Discriminate in Their Hiring Practices, while claiming they are being harassed, where it was posted, whatever, that it appears that the organization was discriminating in their hiring practices based off a post the organization made on X that read, looking for Black women content creators that make Dungeons and Dragons content for some potential brand work. Hit us up. Literally saying no whites need apply. I made a whole video about this if you want to go check it out. I kind of break it down. But yeah, I have to say allegedly for legal purposes, but they're allegedly breaking the law here and discriminating. There are a bunch of anti-discrimination laws saying you can't just say, and I know people are like, well, it's literally in their name, Black Girl Gamers. Yes, and that is illegal. To discriminate, you can call it whatever the hell you want. But if you're saying, I will not hire you because of your race or gender or religion or whatever, that is discrimination and it's illegal. In America. I don't know about other countries, but it's illegal. Tom Holland and Zendaya are both working on new details for Return to Spider-Man 4. The director of Shang-Chi will direct. That's Destin Daniel Cretton, Chris McKenna, and Eric Summers, who wrote the previous 3 Spider-Man films, are returning to write the script. Okay. Cool. Cool. Either way. But getting back to this, just to wrap it up. Yeah, I hope JT, Smash JT, he pursues this to its nth degree. There was, if they figure out they can keep doing this and YouTube is just going to go along with it, then they're just going to keep doing it. They're going to silence every dissenting voice they possibly can. That's what these people do. They don't, like I said, they don't want discussion. They don't want to have, they don't want to hear anybody speak out against them. They don't want, and nobody likes to hear people talk crap about you. But when you're doing something that is public and worthy of scolding, then people should be more than allowed to tell you, hey, F off, quit doing that stupid stuff. But they don't want that. They don't want to hear it. And they will use it. It is a legal thing what they did. They cost him money by taking that video down. If you get a strike on your channel, that really hurts you in a lot of areas. And they are costing him money. They're costing less people are seeing him now because he got a strike. They're not seeing that video. He's not getting money for it. So they are abusing the system potentially. And if, like I said, if they find out that they can get away with it and nothing is going to come about, they're not going to get hurt by it at all. They'll keep freaking doing it. All right. Sorry, amateur there. I hit my desk. Pulling up a few more things here. While I'm pulling some stuff up, if you are watching on YouTube, thank you. I appreciate it. And if you could be a subscriber, that would be fantastic. Subscribe, click the bell to be notified every time I post brand new content. I do that Monday through Friday. I've always got new stuff, be it shorts. Sometimes they're new news stories that I'm covering in short form. Sometimes it's a review that I don't really have much to say about, like I've done Studio Ghibli reviews in short form. If you're on Rumble, my review of Howl's Moving Castle, I split it into a couple shorts on YouTube, but I extended it and put a little more to it for a Rumble exclusive video. But if you're on YouTube and you want that, because I don't post my shorts on Rumble, youtube.com/@Marks on Media. And if you could, if you want to follow me on Rumble, which would be nice, trying to grow my community there, it's rumble.com/C/Marks on Media. Join my locals and I'll start giving, if you join, you start paying me, I will start giving you content, exclusive content, whatever you want. I'll take requests. I'm not joking. If you want reviews, if you want watch alongs, if you want analysis, gaming video, whatever the hell, you let me know what you want to see, pay me. I'll do it. I'm crazy. I'll do it. But yeah, that's if you want to join locals, it's locals.com/marksonmedia/feed. I'm not really active on Kick, but you can join my Kick. It's kick.com/marksonmedia. If you want to follow me on social media, where I am very active, I check my social media every single day. I'm mostly active on X, but that's where I get the most interaction. But it's On X, you can follow me at Marks_on_media. Sucks with the underscores, but somebody took my handle, so what are you gonna do? And then it's the same on Instagram, Marks_on_media. Again, I check Instagram every single day, so if you want to chat on there or comment on something, have that. And then Facebook is facebook.com/MarksOnMediaTube. And that one I'm a little less active on, but if I start getting some interactions on there, I'll start interacting. But anyway, we are in the next part of our stream here. We're out of games, finally. I told you it was a very game-heavy stream today. But we're into movies. Ready to talk some movies? Let's get into this one. The Daily Mail, which I never go to them, but they had the most interesting story on this, so let's do it. F out of here, man. All these advertisements, I'll tell you. Whoa. All right. The Goonies fans all issue same passionate plea after sequel announcement sends social media into meltdown. Oh, here we go. The Goonies fans issued a desperate plea on Monday after following the sequel announcement of a sequel. Okay, following the sequel announcement of a sequel. Redundant statement is redundant. The 1985 adventure comedy has reportedly been given the green light for a second installment almost 40 years after the original. Insane. With its original star-studded cast set to return. Oh, really? I did not see that part. But while some fans were delighted at the prospect, others couldn't help but feel they should have left the film alone. Yeah, I would say. God. Sharing their thoughts on X, some Goonies enthusiasts were left raging at the thought, saying they would hate to see a follow-up. Fans shared, "The Goonies is getting a sequel. I cannot express how much I hate this. God, not a Goonies sequel now." Yeah, it's probably not going to be good. Others added a Goonies sequel. "My tent is set up at the campground of please just leave a great thing alone. But if they're going to make it, I reckon I'll watch it. Just please, please be good. Don't they ever dare reboot the Goonies. Don't even touch it. That film is timeless." But the whole appeal of Goonies is a bunch of kids going on an adventure with a treasure map. It's something we all imagined doing as kids. If it turns into a bunch of weird or overweight adults, or both, going back to get some hidden treasure or pay off their bills, it'll lose its magic. I feel sick. They're going to stuff this up so bad. I'm 42 and have loved the Goonies all my life. Even my kids, 19, 15, 11, and by 2026, my 3-year-old will be 5, will want to see this. So hopefully they just do it right. Let's see. Oh, meanwhile, some were delighted, writing, "I've never been so ecstatic and pumped for a second Goonies movie. Yes. It is true. Spielberg is making a follow-up to Goonies. Excellent if it is." Yeah. So here are some of the tweets. They just compiled a bunch of them. Yeah. I'll say this. You can post anything on social media and get mixed reviews. You can get my mom just texted me that James Earl Jones died. If nobody saw, I opened up the show with that. Unfortunately, the voice of Darth Vader, and he's in another he's in another one of my favorite films, The Sandlot. It's been a while since I watched, but he's the blind former baseball player that has the big scary dog. Yeah, he's in that. But either way, yeah, he passed away. He was 93. Sucks. But yeah, you can post pretty much anything online and get, if it's the worst idea ever, and like anybody with a brain should hate it, you're gonna get some people on there so pumped for this, yeah, every time. Social media is weird, man. They added the plan is to start developing ideas for the follow-up of next summer with a possible release date of 2026 or 2027. The original is so culturally significant. Warner Bros. Know they have to get it totally right. They probably won't. Production teams acknowledge the possibilities of where to take the sequel are endless, and the teams are already excited to get started as they was to bring the magic of the film to a whole new audience. Is it me? I know some of it's me, but I feel like the writing is terrible. The film, written by Chris Columbus, has become a classic. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. The film follows a group of kids in Goondock neighborhood in Astoria. Yeah. So it goes on about what the hell the Goonies was. So they're all coming back. Okay. Cool, I guess. Oh, there's 3 of them right there. Man, think about how he looked as a kid, and he's like so skinny now. Yeah. There. I don't care what his political opinions are. I still love Sean Astin. He just expands, though. I know I'm not like svelte at all, but good grief, dude. He discovered pie and just kept going at it. I love the fact that Ke-Huy Quan is back acting again. That's awesome. Man, I love Josh Brolin, but Corey Feldman, I saw him once at a Comic-Con. He looked like he was doing a Michael Jackson impression. He had the hair just like him with the hat and the sunglasses indoors at night, and he had a band leader outfit on like Michael Jackson, and he was wearing gloves. I'm like, okay. And this was like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that. It was a while ago, but I'm just like, damn. I have a weird love for Corey Feldman, but God, the dude is he's an odd guy. But yeah, Chunk isn't so Chunk anymore. I wonder if they're never gonna do it because it would be insensitive. But if they put him in a fat suit, that would be hilarious. John Matzuka, Matuzik. Yeah, see, that's what I said earlier. I'm looking at words that I should know how to say, and I can never say them. The football player who played Sloth in the Goonies passed away in 1989. Oh, man, that sucks. Yeah, he was a big dude. But there you go. 2026, 2027, thereabouts. We're getting a sequel to Goonies, whether we like it or not. Like it or lump it. I like the Goonies. I will say this. If it's on, if they put it on, because I have Max, I pay for. I love Max. I'll watch it on there. I'm sure as crap not going to theaters to see it. If they don't put it on Max, I will watch it, but I will watch it the way One-Eyed Willie would watch it. Get it? I will use my pirate map to find out where to watch. If you catch my drift. Oh man, I'm getting hungry. I have not eaten dinner, and I just got an advertisement for everybody's got a $5 meal deal now. You notice that all the fast food places, McDonald's, Wendy's, and KFC. They just advertised the KFC $5 deal. All right, let's get into some of this. Oh God, I keep getting advertised every time I try to pull up this article. There's another effing advertisement. It's like, you're not paying me. I'm not showing your crap. I don't even know if I like it. There we go. All right. Some shade. James Gunn attempts to assure fans with his track record that Superman visual effects will look better than those in The Flash. I will say, speaking of this, if nobody's seen the movie Twisters yet, not Twister, Twisters, the new one, it's good. It's really, really good. Throwback to the 90s. I might like it better than the original. It was good. It's not a remake, it's a sequel. To anybody out there wondering. It was Glenn Powell is awesome The female lead, I don't know her name, but she was good. It was fun. It was just a fun movie, action packed. I love that kind of stuff. It was awesome. The music is fantastic. The soundtrack is great. I swear I'm getting to the point. The point is the female lead joins this like one of her friends has this like storm research team, and his second in command, whatever, with him is this big white dude. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there staring at him. I finally lean over to my wife. I'm like, I think that's Superman, the new Superman, David Cornsweet. And finally, I pulled up my phone. I Googled it. And I'm like, yep, that's Superman. Like I didn't know the cast. I knew Glenn Powell was in the movie. That was about it. But other than that, I was like, I don't know who the hell's in this movie. I didn't care. I just wanted to see the movie. The trailer looked good. And I saw David Cornsweet, and I'm like, oh, hell, Superman. Nice. All right. Anyway. Yeah, this was one of the worst things about The Flash. Like, they put it off and put it off and put it off, and then they CGI'd a bunch of crap into it. And it's like, yeah, it gets your rocks off as like a nerd with these Easter eggs or whatever, but I don't know. Look at this. It looks like a video game character. And a lot of people are going to be like, wait, is that Nick Cage? Why is he a long-haired Superman? Why is there a spider in the back? Like, you have to know the lore of the internet. It's a very deep cut. But the visual effects work on The Flash, and its cohort releases was immeasurably and verifiably rushed. But I don't see how they delayed the hell out of it and pumped a crap ton of money into it, putting a black mark on the dying days of the DCEU. Zack Snyder's retooled universe came to an ugly and embarrassing end soon after the Scarlet Speedster tripped at the finish line. Sorry. Again, I can't read. With nothing to show for it. James Gunn is amid a full reboot that begins with Creature Commandos, but it will really kick off with Superman next summer, directed by the man himself. He and DC Studios haven't even gotten started. Despite this, there is a fear we could get more of the same setbacks. God, I hope not. Gunn, however, doesn't want anyone betting on that and assures skeptics that VFX artists will have enough time to finish their work on the Man of Steel, as they always have during his career. Sure as hell hope so. F out of here, Concord video. Quote, if you do some research, you'll see my films have always taken a different approach, and I've always given my VFX artist collaborators time to do their jobs properly and the respect they deserve. And the quality of the VFX in those films is uniformly great because of it, and because of my friends at Weta and Framestore and ILM and more are amazingly talented, Gunn explained on Threads. He's like the only big name I've ever seen that consistently uses Threads. Any statements anybody ever gets from him are on Threads, not on X. He's not on X. So he's one of the libs that actually said, screw it, I'm going somewhere else. And he didn't go to one of the god-awful liberal places like Mastodon or whatever, or Hive. He went to Threads, which I guess people use, but who the hell, why? Superman wrapped a full year before its release to give it time, it keeps skipping around, to give it every advantage to be as good as possible, according to Gunn, who also said the MOS's spinoff, Man of Steel spinoff, Supergirl, starring Millie Alcock, will be handled the same way. This is why we wrapped on Superman a year before its release, and why they've been hard at work on many shots for months before that, he added in reply. This is why we start healthy editing during my shoot. This is why I prepare so vigorously, and why we only shoot finished screenplays. At Supergirl, which I'm not directing, it's being handled the same way. I can't praise the VFX artists that help us create the magic enough. Superman still isn't a guaranteed hit, let alone a perfect movie, but if Gunn has learned from the mistakes of his predecessors, there is a sense of hope, which Big Blue is ideally all about. Yeah. So Christopher Reeve's son speaks on cameo in James Gunn's Superman. I don't know what I'm allowed to say. Yeah. Don't spoil it. But yeah, throwing some shade a little bit, but not kind of. I'll say he's not doing it in an a-hole way, but he's very right about this, where like we get so much Marvel content, and we've heard all these people from that have worked like the special effects and stuff on Marvel for years talk about it looks a lot like there's quite a bit that looks like garbage or looks cartoony because like lately because we don't have time. Everything is so rushed and everything keeps changing. There's like 5 million rewrites and reshoots and everything else. They can't keep up with it. So we get what we get. And I get it. They're overworked, overstressed, and yeah. And I like people like, yeah, and I hate to bring up negative things he's said, whatever, because he's passed away. But my friend Greg / co-host Greg would always say, he's like, well, they get paid enough, so what if, if they got a lot of work? Like, yeah, but you're still under the gun. And then we get crappy VFX because it's just this sewage pipe of content coming out of Marvel. And James Gunn was part of that. He wasn't the one like pumping out the sewage. He only did the Guardians of the Galaxy films, the 3 Guardians movies, and then the Guardians special, Christmas special or holiday special, whatever you want to call it. But his stuff looked pretty decent, and he saw firsthand what Marvel was doing, what Kevin Feige was doing, and it was awful. Like when you push things that hard and push your VFX department that hard, you're not going to get the best quality you possibly can. It's just not possible. But that's my 2 cents on it. James Gunn, I think, is doing things the right way with it, and I'm excited to see Superman. I don't think Millie Alcock, she's a decent actress. I don't think she's the right choice for Supergirl, but I'll give her a chance, whatever. My wife thinks she's ugly. I don't see that. She's unique looking, I'll say, and unique is not code for ugly. But she's got a unique look. Kind of like Anya Taylor-Joy. She's unique looking. Very I think she's a pretty girl, but she's got a unique look to her. Doesn't I can't sit there and be like, oh, she looks like so and so, whatever. But either way, speaking of Kevin Feige, old Kevin, I'll tell anybody. I don't know if they still have it. I love RC Cola. My dad raised me liking it, but I didn't get it a lot because not everybody sells it. If you want a lot of soda or pop wherever you are in the country, and you want it for cheap, 18 packs of RC at Walmart. This is not an advertisement for RC, but at Walmart, if you want an 18 pack for cheap, it's like $5.50 for an 18 pack of RC. That's nuts. And then they have cherry RC. So my wife doesn't drink it. She only drinks Diet Pop. So I've been working on this for a while. I still have a lot to go. It took me a couple months to get through the cherry RC. So like I said, I don't know if they're still doing that. I'm knocking crap over here. I don't know if they're still doing that. But yeah. If you're preparing for a party or something like that, a barbecue, a fall get together. We just had one this weekend. We went to the Ohio Renaissance Festival. Anybody have a Renaissance Festival in your area? I'll say this is it's right on the edge of the perfect time of year, because last year we went around this time and we went 2 weeks in a row, or I think we might have skipped a week. We went a week, skipped a week, went the next week, and it was like September. We were just dripping sweat after a few hours. My mother-in-law was miserable. I was miserable. And we like to dress up for it. We don't go like all out, but like last year I dressed up for they have different themed weekends. I dressed up for Pirate Weekend, and this past weekend I was a witch, not the Witcher. I wasn't Geralt, but I was a Witcher, and a kid complimented my sword. He was and so I let him cut in line for the bathroom. But yeah, so it's good fun. I know the Quartering. I watch his stuff frequently. He said that supposedly Wisconsin is known for having the greatest Renaissance festival in all of America, and I guess there's just wrapped up. And I'm like, man, I can't imagine a Renaissance festival during the summer when it's hot. F that. Like, it's just starting to cool down in Ohio now, and in this area. Thank God. Because and the thing is, like, yesterday kind of sucked. We went yesterday. It started off cool, and as the day went on, it got hotter. It got up to close to 80, and I'm like baking at the end of it. But there was a little bit of shade, thank God, where we were heading. But now back to the show. Let's go to Kevin Feige here. He addresses possible Avengers versus X-Men movie with original cast. What the crap? I don't care about any of that. Which original cast? That's what I want to know. Ooh. Brandon Sanderson, Sarah Moss, and Neil Gaiman all in one. Well, that's a hell of a 3-pack. I don't know if I should talk about the Neil Gaiman stuff. I haven't done a lot of research on it, but dude, is there like an article here, or is it just a video? Did I F up? Is there not an article? I thought there was an actual... No, I think it's just a video. Wow. Okay. Well, F me then. Yeah, I'm not playing a video. Forget that. All right. Well, screw that. My bad. All right. So either way, I guess I'll have to check out what the hell he was talking about. See if I can find the comments, like, written out. Now let me look at this before I get all hyped up. All right. This will be a short one. Coming up. Here we go. Joker 2 tickets. Stop that video. Joker 2 tickets go on sale with fan first premieres. Here's how to watch Joker Folie à Deux early in theaters. I've never been one of them. Like, Greg was all about the midnight releases and stuff. I'm like, even if I was like single and could do what I want when I want without ever consulting anybody else, no thanks. Like, he told me I was he was like, oh, you just like don't know how to have fun, do you? Because there was one time I saw these people camped out for like 48 hours to get a stupid game. I don't even remember what the hell the game was. And I remember it was an actual good game. It was Tears of the Kingdom, the Legend of Zelda. And I'm like, oh my God, hell no. And they're out like barbecuing and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, you just don't know how to have fun, do you? I'm like, camping out on a sidewalk and with complete strangers, gamers. And like, no offense, I love gamers, but like, they have a certain reputation. It's not always accurate, but it's like wrestling fans, you go to a wrestling convention, there are some cool ones, and there's some ones that, they got the BO rocking, they can spend hundreds of dollars on a ticket to the show, but they can't spend $5 on deodorant. But I'm just like, hell no. I was like, that sounds just like a nightmare. I will go the next day. I'm good. I'm not gonna, because anyway, like with the schedule that I keep now, I'm like such an old man. I'm only in my 30s. It's like, I'm going to go pick up that game at midnight when it drops, come home, and go to bed. I'm not actually going to play it. So, whatever. Anyway, smile, because advance tickets are now on sale for Joker Folie à Deux. Accompanying Monday's announcement is news that DC fans won't have to wait until the film's October 4th release to be the first to experience Joker 2 in IMAX. Warner Bros. Will release the Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga starring sequel exclusively in IMAX theaters on Monday, September 30th. Cool. Nearly a week before waltzing into wide release. The Joker Folie à Deux fan first premiere on IMAX screenings will take place at 7 p.m. in select IMAX theaters nationwide. Tickets are on sale via Fandango and the major chains including Regal, Cinemark, Harkin, never heard of that one, Harkins, and AMC theaters. Warner Bros. Hosted early access fan screenings for The Batman, The Flash, Barbie, Dune Part 2, and Beetlejuice, but the Joker sequel is one of just a few films to be presented in the IMAX 7mm film format. Excuse me. Joker Folie à Deux in IMAX 70mm features 54 minutes of IMAX's exclusive expanded aspect ratio, or EAR, which will be offered at just 11 IMAX 70mm film locations worldwide, including in Canada, the US, Canada, the UK, and Australia. And then what is it about? What date is fan first premiere? Blah, 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 blah. I already went over that. The runtime is 2 hours and 18 minutes. Yikes. I'll say this. I hate musicals. I loved Joker. I like Joker. It was a good film. I will watch this, but it's nothing I'm going to rush out to see. I don't care about Lady Gaga. I try not to get colored by previews of films too badly. I try to give it a chance. If it's something I'm like, all right, I might like this. But I don't know. It just, I don't like musicals. As soon as they said it was a musical, I was like about to check out. I'm like, I'll watch it eventually. It's nothing that I'm like pumped about, which sucks because, like I said, Joker 1 was so good. And it was iconic. It looks like they're going to recreate the stair dance thing with him and Harley Quinn. So cool, I guess. I'll have to see how this goes. Is the music all going to be like in his mind, or is this like, are they going to play it straight? Like it's an actual musical. Or is it going to be from like Harley's perspective where it's all in her mind? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. We shall see. But yeah, so that's that. Let's get into a little bit of, I'm just going to do TV because I've got things spaced out in a certain way on the lineup, and I just want to get through a couple of these now because I've had a certain story I found while on stream I wanted to cover. I'll get to that last, actually. While we transition into TV, I want to take this time and pause for station identification. If you are following on the tube of you, or if you're watching on there, thank you very much. I very much appreciate all of your views. And leave a comment. You can interact with me on any of my videos. I will reply back as long as you're not if you're a complete a-hole, depending on how bad you are. I'll interact with you. But just try to be nice. Try to be a civilized human being. That'd be nice. I know on social media that's a strange thing to think, but either way, you can if you want to follow me on YouTube and you're not, it's youtube.com/@marksonmedia. If you want to follow me on Rumble and support me on there, I very much appreciate that as well. You can subscribe to me on YouTube and follow me on Rumble as well and interact with me on there. I see all the comments, come to my email, and I'll interact with you on there. It's rumble.com/C/Marks on Media. Also, my locals, I'll start putting up paid content as soon as I get some members on there. And I will take suggestions about what you want to see from me. If you want to have locals only streams, if you want to have specific videos on certain subjects, watch alongs, whatever, I'm open to whatever. So hit me up on there, locals.com/Marks on Media /feed. You can follow me on social media as well. I'm everywhere. I am on X and /Twitter, Twix. You can follow me at Marks_on_media. Same thing on Instagram, Marks_on_media. And on Facebook, it's facebook.com/Marks on Media Tube. So yeah. Anyway, getting back to all things media. Ah, man. I'm looking very neckbeardy today, don't you think? And I've got my Allons-y hat my wife bought me years ago. Fire and Blood t-shirt. Okay. I got the actual symbol, the real one from that George R.R. Martin likes. Only got the 2 legs. You notice 2 legs. I made a video about that, and people were like fighting me about it. They're like, a 2-legged dragon is actually called like a wyvern or whatever the frick. I'm like, who the hell knows what the hell a wyvern? I was shocked. I got the comment from like 3 different people. I'm like, how did this? I've never heard this before in my life from anyone. Now all of a sudden I've got all these people blowing me up on this video on Rumble and on YouTube saying it's like a 2-legged dragon is a wyvern. I'm like, what the frick is a wyvern? I had to Google it. And I'm like, by God, it's just a dragon with 2 legs. Okay. Stupid. But it's like, whatever. He created it. They're like, well, he didn't create dragons. He can't say it. I'm like, he created these dragons in this world. It can be whatever the hell he wants. That's like saying that, well, Tolkien doesn't get to say that elves are tall and beautiful and immortal because the elves are supposed to look like, Santa's little helper and whatever. Like, come on. No, he didn't create elves. He created these kind of elves. Like, shut up. They're not real. At the bottom line, they're not real. All right. So, whatever. There's my soapbox. This is something I've never seen the show, but you'd think it would be right up my alley. Heels showrunner shares hopeful update on potential renewal at Netflix. They were on Stars and they got canceled. I actually saw Stephen Amell at the Cincinnati Comic Expo last year. It was the weirdest comic expo ever because it was during the all these advertisements. It was during the actors strike. So like they could talk about their personal life. They could give some details about their career, but they weren't really allowed to talk about anything. So, yeah, I don't know. It was just the weirdest stuff. And like, I got to see, I'm not even going to tell you his name now. He played Vision. I got to see him, but he like couldn't talk about any projects, past, present, or future. It's weird. But anyway, Heels fans say that the series ended far too soon, especially given the cliffhanger that left fans hanging at the end of season 2. However, there's a good chance that the series will end up getting revived on Netflix, but it depends on how many fans are tuning in. Heels originally premiered in 2021, and its second season wrapped up in September 2023. It was recently announced that both seasons would be hitting Netflix on September 15th. That was one thing he had talked about was, or the Stephen Amell talked about was he was hopeful for a season 3, and he seemed pretty positive about it. And then like one day later, 2 days later, then it finally came out. It was like, no, it's canceled. I'm like, holy crap. That was shocking. And everybody was talking about how much they loved it and it did well. But either way, I don't know. Apparently it didn't do that well. But it remains to be seen how many Netflix subscribers will give the show a shot once it starts streaming. But showrunner Mike O'Malley is thrilled to see Heels getting exposed to more potential fans. He told TV Insider in a new interview that high enough viewership might be all it will take for Netflix to order a third season. Quote, I'm just so happy that people are going to see the episodes we made, he said. There was a time when we were taken off the Stars platform and we thought all the work had just vanished. It was like a great concert or a one-act play you saw in the state of New Hampshire, where it was like you had to have been there. He added, that's not why you make television or movies. You make them to share with people. I, of course, am talking to you because I want people to watch it. I will say that the ensemble, the people I worked with, the setting of Duffy, Georgia, these characters, there are many more stories to tell. There are seasons of story to tell for the show. I desperately want to do that. Yeah. Let's see. And then it goes on to talk about it's basically the same side. It tells you what it is, and it's a wrestling family, like a local indie wrestling family, whatever. And obviously, like I said, Stephen Amell is like one of the stars of the show. You just saw him. I have not watched it. I heard it's okay. I've heard good and bad things about it. But I don't know. I have some indie wrestlers that I know personally that enjoyed it, but I don't know. Other wrestlers I know don't like talking about, or they don't like watching movies and shows about wrestling. It's like almost like it hits too close to home. They can't like I don't know. They can't like break from it. I don't know how to say like the separate themselves from the movie. You know, it's a little too close, I guess. But I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I hope it does well. Stephen Amell's a cool dude. So if you want it to get another season, a third season, go watch it. See, this is the thing. People weren't watching it, so they canceled it. But the cast is mostly white, and it didn't, and people weren't trashing it. They just tuned out. So it's not going to get all the talk like the Acolyte of, oh, well, it only got canceled because of diversity and more racism and whatever. And no, people just weren't watching. This one, I guess the writing wasn't bad. People just weren't watching it as much, and Stars wasn't seeing a return on investment. But Netflix is looking to diversify their portfolio, I guess. So, hey, if you want to see it, or if you want to see more of it, watch it. Tell your friends and family to watch it, and it could do well. You never know. Let's get into this. This is another James Gunn story here for DC. Peacemaker Season 2. James Gunn confirms release window for the DC series. The Suicide Squad spin-off series returns in 2025. Cool. If you really want a taste of Peacemaker Season 2, you'll have to wait for James Gunn's Superman after confirming that the second season of the Suicide Squad spin-off series will be grandfathered into the DC Universe canon, which I'm ecstatic about, which will kick off the Max animated series Creature Commandos in December, or will kick off with the series. Let's see. Before Superman officially launches in the new DCU, the DC Studios co-chief revealed that John Cena's chrome-helmeted anti-hero won't return until after the Superman reboot takes flight in July 2025. I kind of figured. Season 2 of Peacemaker will air in 2025 after Superman, Gunn announced on Threads. The new season will follow the events of the first DC Studios film, which tells the story of a younger Kal-El. There's Twister's David Cornsweet taking over from Henry Cavill, and Superman's journey to reconcile his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing as Clark Kent of Smallville, Kansas, according to the official synopsis. So, yeah, there you go. Let's see, any more details? Let's see. In July, James Gunn announced the DCU order as follows: Creature Commandos in December 2024, Superman July 2025, and Peacemaker Season 2 to be announced in 2025. All of these initial projects are happening in the order they're released. Gunn said of the DC Studios slate, which includes the updated Max series, Waller, do we care? I like Viola Davis. She's a good actress, but the character of Waller really needs her own show, I guess. HBO's Green Lantern series, excited for that. The comedy series, Booster Gold, meh. The Game of Thrones inspired Wonder Woman spinoff Paradise Lost. Okay. I'll give it a watch at least and see if it's any good. In the upcoming feature films, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, dated for July 26th, 2026, The Authority, Batman Reboot, The Brave and the Bold, Swamp Thing, and Teen Titans. Those all sound cool and all, but I hope this Swamp Thing actually works out. My wife and I got really into that Swamp Thing series that came out a couple years ago. I don't know if anybody watched that. Apparently not a lot of people were watching it. I think it was on the DC had their own like streaming thing for a while, and it was on there. I can't even remember how I found it. But I found it and we watched it every week. We loved that damn show. And then all of a sudden they're like, season 1 over. They leave it on kind of a cliffhanger and they're like, we're done. It's canceled. No more. Like, what the frick? They said it was like super expensive to make and whatever, and some crap about there was something going on with like the taxes where they were filming and whatever. It was a mess. It sucked. I really liked it. I have not vetted this article yet, so we are going to look at it together. This is going to wrap up the TV section. HBO's Harry Potter TV series holds open casting call for 3 lead roles. This was just posted today. All right. Young wizards and witches between the ages of 9 and 11 have the chance to attend Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. HBO and Warner Bros. Television have sent out a casting notice calling for child actors to play the students, including the main trio of Hogwarts first years Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, and Hermione Granger in HBO's Harry Potter TV series, expected to air on the network and stream on Max in 2026. The UK Harry Potter casting call posted to Cast It Talent is seeking children who, quote, are aged 9 to 10 in April 2025 and a resident of the UK or Ireland. Not Wales? Well, I guess Wales is part of the UK. Never mind. According to the, and I guess only half of Ireland is part of the UK. Yeah. So they could be Scottish too. But we are committed to inclusive, diverse casting. For every role, please submit qualified performers without regard to ethnicity, sex, disability, race, sexual orientation, gender identity, or any other basis protected by law, unless otherwise specifically indicated. Okay. Here's the thing. I know what I said earlier about, and I hold to this, but this is a caveat. You can't say we'll only hire you or include you in a job consideration if you're this gender, this race, this religion, this sexual orientation, whatever. It's against the law to do that, to exclude people based on that. Acting is a little different. And I know everybody hates J.K. Rowling anymore because she's not big on the tea issue. I'll leave it at that. And she's, called a TERF and whatever. Who cares? But that's the only thing. Other than that, she's a huge lib. And everything she put in her books, like, retconned into her books. Like, because somebody was like, you don't have any LGBT characters in your books. And she's like, actually, Dumbledore's gay. He was boning Grindelwald, you see. Like, what? Hey, what indicate and don't get me wrong, I didn't if he was a gay character in the books, like, he doesn't have to be walking into the room like, "Hey," or, like, wearing rainbow-colored robes and painting his beard pink and whatever. Like, we don't need that, like, his shooting sparkles out of his ass when he walks in. But we got literally 0 indication that he was gay. I mean, we didn't know that if he was straight either, but she just, like, dropped it. He was like, "By the way, he's gay." Like, okay. And just, like, retconning the character there, and that set it up for that boring trio of Fantastic Beasts movies. The trilogy there. But then she's like, she retcons a bunch of other stuff. Like, if you watch that The Cursed Child on, like, the play, they keep casting black girls to play Hermione, which Broadway and, like, musical theater and stuff is different. They cast whatever. It's still weird. But I'm worried now because people have been talking about how her books aren't inclusive enough. She's got, like, one Asian girl in there. I don't really remember her talking that much about the race of people. There were some people, like, she specifically pointed out that Hermione was like reddish haired and white. She specifically put those details about her in the book, and Ron is a ginger. I'm afraid that they're just gonna DEI it up because she's part of that ilk. The only liberal thing that she doesn't subscribe to is the tea ideology. Everything else is she's all there. She's hardcore lib, big time feminist, and I'm just afraid like, and don't get me wrong, I don't mind if she makes 60 to 70% of Hogwarts not white. I would give a crap less. I don't care about that. What I care about is the specific, like, the main characters that she pointed out, exactly what they look like in the book. That's what they look like in the movies. And then like Draco Malfoy, the trio of Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Those, Dumbledore, Hagrid, whatever. Like, just stick to it, please. Whatever. It'd be funny. Like, this is the one I'm thinking of. She's like, well, I got to make one main character black. Who can I? Hagrid. Hagrid will be black. I would kind of chuckle. I'd be like, whatever. I mean, it's why they're doing it, but I'd be like, whatever. And it's probably, I will say this, on the average, you can probably more easily find a very tall black actor to play Hagrid than a really large white actor. So that might be easier. They wouldn't have to do as much with special effects and kind of that kind of stuff like they did with I feel bad, I don't remember the guy's name. He's passed away, but the original Hagrid. So anyway, any hoozle. That does it for TV. We're gonna move on. I've got a few more stories here. I said I didn't have a hard out time, but we're pushing 3 hours here. This is a marathon stream, everybody. I was going to do some overtime at work. I might do a tiny bit. I'm pulling up the last few stories we got, huh? We're in the home stretch, y'all. Trying to give you as much quality as possible here. I know I've taken a few breaks here and there, but please forgive me for that. Speaking of which, my wife's now texting me. More updates on my dog. Got cats and dogs just not cooperating, man. It's a crazy time. But all right. Boop a doop boop boop doo. Let's go to anime. This is gonna make some people fairly upset, I'm certain. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. English localizers rewrite Akira Toriyama's original manga script, insert Zoomer lingo into classic Vegeta versus Kid Trunks dialogue. Because if there's one thing that is universally beloved, is Zoomer lingo. I will say Gen Alpha, I hate them more. And I know they're like kids right now, but I hate them more than Zoomers. But God, Zoomers are annoying. And they love to make fun of millennials, which is like a time-honored tradition of making fun of the generation before you. But the stuff they make fun of, I'm like, dude, you look stupid, and you look the way you look. You say the garbage you say, and then you're going to sit there and insult me and my generation. Okay. All right. Let's dig in here. In the latest case of Western localizers taking it upon themselves to modernize a Japanese creator's original work, the team responsible for the English language subtitles in Bandai Namco's Dragon Ball Sparking Zero have taken a conversation directly adapted from Akira Toriyama's original manga and replaced parts of its dialogue with Zoomer lingo. Man. The latest entry in the franchise's Sparking video game line, better known as Budokai Tenkaichi in the West. Oh, okay, that's why I didn't know. I've seen the Budokai games, but I didn't know that was the same thing. Either way, Zero is an upcoming arena fighter that will allow players to pick from a roster of over 164 combatants across the entirety of the series' history, including Dragon Ball Daima, and battle it out in classic Kai-infused fashion. That's pretty sweet. Holy cow. That is a hell of a lineup. As part of the game's presentation, get out of here, guy. As part of the game's presentation, before each respective match commences, the selected characters will exchange a bit of pre-fight banter, ranging from light taunting to positive encouragement to outright threats of impending violence, the exact dialogue varying between partners. To this end, one particular instance of pre-fight dialogue that can be exchanged between Vegeta and the younger version Trunks is, as noted above, adapted directly from the Dragon Ball manga, as is originally seen in the series' 429th chapter. The exchange in question occurs after the Saiyan Prince watches his son, with almost no difficulty, achieve the Super Saiyan form for the first time. And then here we see there the actual comic strip. Hey, dude. My kitty wants me. My boy kitty. Shocked by the speed of the development and curious at the extent of his powers, Vegeta proceeds to challenge Trunks by asking him to try to hit me. Met with understood confusion from his son, who confusingly admits, "That's impossible, Dad. You're too strong. Get out of the camera, buddy." I know, he's more handsome than I am, isn't he? Hey, dude. You are in the way. Oh, come on. I know, he's super handsome. Hopefully that'll get me some more views. Anyway, getting back to this. Shocked by the speed of the development and curious as to the next extent of his powers, Vegeta proceeds to challenge Trunks by asking him to try to hit me, met with understood confusion from his son, who confusingly admits, "That's impossible, Dad. You're too strong." Vegeta, in turn, promises, "Just do it. If you land one blow on my face, I'll take you to the amusement park." His interest piqued. Trunks responds in turn, "Really? You? Okay," before launching into an all-out and ultimately successful assault on his father. There you go. Right there. I wonder if they colorized that or if because most manga is black and white. Unfortunately, as per screenshots shared by Sparking Zero, Twitter fan account at DB Sparking News said Game has updated this conversation for Zoomer audiences. Now, in response to Vegeta's promise that he would take him to the amusement park, Trunks declares, "No cap, let's go." What the hell? God dang it. As of writing, it is unknown which other instances of adapted Dragon Ball dialogue, if any, have been altered during the adaptation of Sparking Zero. Further, Bandai Namco has yet to offer any official comment regarding this localization choice. Players interested in taking to the World Tournament ring once more can pick up Sparking Zero when it hits shelves on October 11th. Okay. I will say it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, it's dumb. Where he's like, "Really? Okay." And then they change it to "no cap," which is just, oh my God. It's freaking, it's funny in that it's so stupid. But it's not that bad. So whatever. I don't know. It could be way worse, I'll say that. But that's that. I got one more anime story here. I just saw this right before I went live, so I wanted to talk about it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I've talked about this a few times, not this exact thing or this exact story, but this exact subject. Anime's piracy hunt expands with U.S. case against Jujutsu Kaisen Demon Slayer leakers. Yikes. After decades of unchecked piracy, the anime industry is fighting back against leaks. Now, this one will piss people off because I didn't realize how many people love pirating anime. And they really hate Crunchyroll. Yeah. But piracy is a crime that never stops. That is correct. For centuries now, the world has seen piracy take different forms. Oh my God, are you seriously going to go through this? With recent rise in online leaks, the anime industry is doubling down on its anti-piracy stance with a massive U.S. case. The case was brought to light in Japan by Anime, a popular site dedicated to all things otaku. It was their legal paperwork surfaced that anime licensors and or distributors were making legal moves against leakers in the United States. A court stateside has issued an order to X/Twitter to share the personal information of several users who allegedly leaked information about Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, and Jujutsu Kaisen. All they did was leak information. They didn't leak the show. It's kind of dumb. What is this new piracy case about? You might be wondering why this latest pushback on piracy is making headlines. This case marks the first time the U.S. court system has involved X in the ordeal, and the site is a massive breeding ground for leakers. From My Hero Academia to Kagurabachi. I don't know that one. Tons of manga titles have been leaked to the site. The same goes for anime, and now 2 Japanese production companies have managed to rope X into the debacle. After all, the 2 brands that petition the courts are Toho Co. and Aniplex Inc. I thought Aniplex was I thought they shut down or got absorbed into or am I thinking another? No, Funimation. That was it. Funimation was the one that got absorbed by Crunchyroll. Aniplex is still out there. Anyway, these two companies are giants in the industry, and they are impacted by leaks quite often. I could see that. As for how the leakers get caught, Toho and Aniplex says that there are 3 ways they track the 12 accounts subpoenaed. The first method was tracking X users who shared unreleased images of an anime episode before it was launched. The second method was by tracking users who posted episode credits. Several of the pages mentioned would list the staff tied to an episode, but the credits were incorrect. The information was shared initially to catch leakers. And for the third method, the companies relied on watermarks to hunt down pirates. Damn, they're going hard. Sorry, I'm reading the related stories here. Anime or alien anime short proves the okay. Anyway, piracy has been a problem in anime for ages, and it goes through all that. And yeah, give your support to official anime licensors like GKids and High Dive and Crunchyroll whenever you can. I know a lot of people are not going to. And like I said, this is going to piss off a lot of people because the last time I posted about a crackdown and the shutdown of because it started in earnest. It started like a crackdown on that kind of stuff. It was started with F movies, if anybody knows what that is, and then they started coming for the anime sites, and like a massive amount of anime sites just like shut down in like one day. It was trending real hard on Twitter. Yeah, so it was it's interesting to see the way that this is going, because like Anywave got shut down. That was a big one. 9 Anime, and there are a few others, but I can't even I don't know all the names. There were some I've never heard of. There were some I have heard of, but yeah, piracy sites are getting cracked down on hard. But the thing is, you're never going to clear it all up. But Japan is hunting them down hard. This is actually, they're putting their money where their mouth is with all this. But I'm reminded of like there for years. I haven't watched UFC in a long time. But Dana White would come out at the post-fight press conference for years and be like, "We know exactly who's like streaming our stuff illegally. We know who you are. We're gonna find you and we're gonna throw you in prison for a long time. Where Bubba's gonna have his way with you and whatever." And she's just like going like hard with it. And I don't think anybody was ever caught. And if they were, it was like small potatoes. So dumb. All right, anyway. Talking to the wife again. She's camping. So I am here with the cats. She's got the dog, I've got the cats, and I am enjoying my alone time. That's why I have such a massive stream going on today, because why the hell not? No one can stop me. And I just wanted to share this news with all of you while I have fun reading it all, catching up on it. Maybe make some videos, longer form or short form videos out of it. Let's talk about this. The final 3 stories we got here. I'm going to end with a bang. Rachel Zegler's Snow White avoided at the Disney parks. Why Disney World and Disneyland are in a hard spot. Giggity. Usually, when a big Disney movie comes out, you can expect to see the characters from the film appearing in Disney World and Disneyland. There are times when those films are such poorly received losers that the characters are very quickly shuffled off the list. For those times, you might catch a glimpse of a rarely worn costume appearing at a special event. Most guests likely will say, "Who is that?" But then there are also times when Disney is stuck with a character tie-in where there simply is no good solution. Such in the case with The Little Mermaid live action remake in 2023, the film severely underperformed box office expectations. Instead of breaking $1 billion, the film may have actually lost money given a gargantuan reported budget and marketing spend. Unfortunately, the film was also tied to racial tensions ahead of the film. Cast was placed a heavy emphasis on the race swapped Ariel character. After the film performed poorly, blame was sometimes placed upon a society that allegedly did not want to view a non-white mermaid. At this point, we believe that you can determine for yourself what you think might have contributed to the film's demise. My wife watched it. She said it was okay. She said it wasn't terrible. Some of the performances were good. She liked Javier Bardem, who played King Triton. But they changed a few. The stuff, anything involving Scuttle in the movie was stupid. Aquafina's terrible. Like, just everything was bad with that. And then the Halle Bailey that played played the Little Mermaid, Ariel. I know she caught the crap. She didn't like necessarily, I don't think anyway, that she started it with the racial stuff, whatever. But people were like, dude, like, you're trying to make a live action adaptation of this, and you're like, no, it's not going to look like that. Eric didn't look like Eric either. Yeah, he was white, and he was also in the movie, he was adopted, and his parents were black, and he lived on like a black, I think an island in Jamaica or around Jamaica or something like that, which is why everybody was black or not white. And it was weird, but it was like very diverse at the very least. And like, yeah, I'm sorry. People want to see what they're used to. And it's not, oh, we got to have more white people. No, it's Ariel was a white girl with red, not orange, red hair and blue eyes. And you're like, nah, she's got to be black. Why? Because diversity, I guess. But I mean, you could have made a movie about a black mermaid and called it something else. It didn't have to be a remake, a live action remake of The Little Mermaid. Also, why was her dad Hispanic? Is Javier Bardem Spanish or Hispanic? I don't know. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I honestly don't know where he hails from. But separate from such issues, however, is a huge problem that was then faced by the Disney Parks and Experiences division of the company. Meet and greets with the new live-action Little Mermaid were scheduled, casting was done, and publicity was generated. Though the movie underperformed, there was no way the parks could remove the character opportunity in the way they typically would with box office flops. So instead, a perhaps even more egregious error was allowing to continue unabated. While long lines were always expected for the traditional cartoon Ariel at Magic Kingdom, the Hollywood Studios theme park meet and greet with the new Ariel was often completely empty of anyone attempting to see her. Even Disney must have recognized the problem and had her appear in less trafficked area of the park. All of that was lackluster and created terrible optics. There you go. Yeah, because they got to add the new one. Yeah, and they're going to do this with Snow White. And the thing is, Snow White is still very popular. My wife actually looks like the cartoon Snow White. I'm not, I guess it's kind of a humble brag. She legitimately looks a lot like Snow White. She's been told this by multiple people. And Snow White is her favorite princess. It used to be Ariel, but last, I don't know how many years, she decided it was Snow White. She rewatched the movie, and yeah. And she's German. Snow White's German. Not the new one, obviously, but Snow White's her favorite. So she watches the movie multiple times a year, and she cosplays as Snow White. She has like a custom Snow White dress that she wears and a wig. Her hair, if she doesn't want to wear the wig, she can actually do her own hair to look like Snow White and whatever. And she's got the headband and all that. So yeah, it's she loves Snow White, and she gets stopped by, even though this movie came out in like the, was it the 30s? I think it was the 30s. Now I gotta look that. I want to say, let's see, Snow White, 1937. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but even though it came out in 1937, little kids will stop my wife in cosplay, and just like these tiny little girls, like, 4 years old, just blown away and mesmerized. Oh my God, it's Snow White. And they want to talk to her, and they ask her questions. They just love, oh, I love your movie and whatever. They love Snow White. Snow White in the parks, I know for a fact, is very popular. And the cast members, they get to play Snow White in the parks. They go through classes and stuff like that. My wife has looked all this crap up, and she's studied it. But they go through classes and whatever on how to be Snow White. They watch the movie over and over, and they're very popular. But now they're shuffling in a new Snow White, and it's like, oh, you're not the same. Okay. But either way, getting to the Rachel Zegler side here. Now Disney is faced with an even more difficult task. What can they do about Snow White? This thing is going to bomb hard, by the way, especially with all the reshoots and delays and the money they pumped into it. Ugh, this is going to be awful. And I love to see it. Rachel Zegler's upcoming live-action remake of the beloved original Disney animated classic is fraught with controversy. The film's trailer has amassed an historic 1 million dislikes since it was shown to the world at D23. Box office projections for the film likely have the twice reshot amalgamation of boardroom and focus group catastrophes at a flop for the ages. Yeah, I mean, it's almost inevitable at this point. There's literally 0% chance they can make their money back. There's no chance. Even if it's a relative success, as far as like a bunch of people do go and watch it, with the massive amount of time and money they pumped into this thing, it will flop. It will be considered a huge failure. You think Rachel Zegler cares? Do you think you care, or that she cares that she could have made the situation better, but at every turn she chose the wrong path and just made things worse? She insulted the movie, the story, the princess herself, the ride, the potential viewers, everything. She's insulted all of it. It's flat out said she doesn't care, that she should be paid more. Just she's just such a nasty, nasty woman. Insulted her co-stars. It's a horrible woman. And she's made everything. Nobody should give this woman a dime of their money. I feel bad for Gal Gadot for being locked onto this thing. She's being tethered. She's got a millstone around her neck with this thing, and it's going to drag her down. But I hope she doesn't get a cut of the box office, because there won't be one. She needs to take her bag and run. Either way, it's now reasonable to surmise that this could compete with the Marvels and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny for the biggest cinematic losers of all time. So what is Disney going to do with a theme park tie-in? Nothing. Hopefully they learn their lesson. Should Disney World and Disneyland elect to have the Rachel Zegler version of the character appear, they're almost certainly beholden to have Hispanic and or Latina actresses play the role. Not doing so could capture the attention of news articles and could put the company in a bad light. Oh no. Oh yeah, you don't want articles from the shills in the in the media like Kotaku and Rolling Stone and those a-holes talking bad about you, that, then their reputation might be tarnished. God. Yet having Hispanic and or Latina actresses standing in rooms with nobody wanting to meet the new Snow White is another horrible look for the company. Put her next to the Black Little Mermaid. It's just, hey, they got the DEI Princess Avengers, man. Assemble. Don't put Tiana in there. She's actually a good princess. I've said this before. They're like, oh, you just want more white princesses. No, if you're going to do an accurate representation of what we've seen, then, do that. But Mulan is awesome. The Princess and the Frog was awesome. Pocahontas was awesome. Like, I don't need white princesses. I mean, I'm also a dude, so it's like I'm not like, oh man, I gotta watch the new princess movie out of Disney. But I mean, I'm not ashamed to say I've seen them all. They were good movies, and they were not white princesses. They were also butt kicking, like tough, like strong female characters without being like unstoppable girl boss, independent women that don't need no man kind of, feminist, whatever. So it was girl power without being obnoxious. So that's what I also liked about it. Again, like Erwin from Lord of the Rings. But either way, and it certainly won't be the fault of the actress. That is true. I would feel bad for that cast member. Yet, if Disney decides not to begin casting and training said actresses, what if the movie actually succeeds? Then they're empty of any cross promotion at their most powerful revenue drivers. Yeah, it is true, but it's not going to be a success. So it's kind of, a moot point. Disney could also decide to put forth traditional Snow White appearances with the original cartoon look. The problem is that that Snow White might be accused of being whitewashed efforts at the parks. Yeah, go with the original look. That's whitewashing. No, this is what, brown washing? I don't know. There's almost no conceivable win here. And that's why Disney World and Disneyland may ultimately just take the proverbial football knee. Yeah, it's true. There's no winning. There's no good answer for them, and I love it. They're between a rock and a hard place because, and I even brought this up to my wife. I said, yeah, I wouldn't have supported it either way because the name is Snow White. The tale says she's the fairest in all the land, fair skin. And it says, Snow White because she's got skin as white as snow. It's a German fairy tale. Yeah, I mean, come on, give me an effing break. So it doesn't make sense to have a Latina actress play Snow White. Like, what? As a Latina, why would you want your character to be named Snow White? It just sounds stupid. But anyway, if they would have cast another Latina actress, I would have hated it, but I don't think they would have gotten as much hate. But Rachel Zegler is just such an unlikable twat. Like, she's just a crotch. She's just a crotch. In every conceivable way. She will die and she's not like a terrible looking woman by any means, but she will die a childless cat lady that's never been married. And she's dried up and shriveled up and all alone complaining about the racists. She's just a terrible woman. And look, there's time for redemption. I would like to see a redemption arc out of her, but every time she opens her mouth, it's just more garbage spewing out. She's a horrible person. But why be in the middle of all this controversy when you can just not do anything extra for Snow White? If the press calls you out on it, Disney can reply that they have many appearances of Snow White throughout the park, and there are merchandise options throughout their retail spaces. do a no comment, and surely, if they do nothing at all to promote the film in the parks, this will be the ultimate sign that the live-action mistakes are finally coming to an end. While there may have been a few diamonds in the rough, there's almost no live-action attempt which has bested the original animated effort upon which they are based. Of course, if Disney chooses to have a Rachel Zegler doppelganger in the parks and nobody wanting to hang out, and you can bet we'll have reporters hanging out ready with stories to write. I'm sure you will. Is a target rich environment here with this garbage, and it's sad to see what it's become. I will say the live action Cinderella was, I think, better than the cartoon. It added stuff to the story that I think worked and was good. The other Maleficent was okay. I don't like the whole, oh, she was actually the good guy all along kind of crap. Is stupid. And oh, her true love was actually her motherly, like her mother-daughter style love for Maleficent. Stupid. Beauty and the Beast gets a bad rap, like the live action one with Emma Watson. I liked it. I like the song they added to it. I don't know. I dug it. I liked the actors in it. I liked the look of it. I don't know. I do think it was funny. Honest Trailers on YouTube pointed this out. They said she lives in the most British part of France. And it's true because she's supposed to be in France and everybody's got a British accent. Nobody's speaking French. It's kind of funny. Last couple stories here. This next one, I don't know what it's really about. It might be a big nothing burger, but we'll take a look at it here. Disney cuts funding for cast members' Aspire program for higher education. That doesn't sound good. Disney announced today that in its latest cost-cutting move, it would be slashing funding for its Aspire higher education program for cast members. Were they paying for college? Aspire is a program in which Disney previously would cover 100% of the cost of higher education for cast members. It was seen as an investment in the people who work for the company full time, allowing them to advance and make a career with the House of Mouse. However, as of November 27th, 2024, Disney will institute a funding cap at $5,250 for in-network schools. Yikes, that's not much. I mean, it helps, but it's not much. With college tuition and fees for private universities reaching $38,421, Disney is severely limiting the ability of its workers to seek higher education and advance within the organization. The average Walt Disney cast member makes $34,916 per year, according to ZipRecruiter. Oh, God. That's bad. That's slightly more than I was making in radio, and I made god-awful money in radio. That's why I tell people, I'm like, look, if you want to go into radio, cool. You know, you might strike it big if you are more talented than I. You certainly can get in a cushy spot, get discovered by the right people. You be able to cover a bunch of stations and make a comfortable living. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to make peanuts, man. And you're going to be barely scraping by. Heaven forbid you have a family to support. I made crap money in radio. But anyway, Disney will still fund the first term of current cast members enrolled in Aspire between now and late November. However, it's likely that the funding cap will be instituted for those employees after all. After that. That means many cast members who have enrolled in school will be forced to drop out. The master's programs and the Penn Foster Trades program with Aspire have been ended effective immediately with enrollment shut down. That sucks for these people. I'll say that. Ex-user Jacko B. Graphic Okay. A former Disney college program cast member noted that noted the impact this will have on cast members' morale going forward. During my DCP, every cast member praised the Aspire program, they said on Twitter. Recruits said it was the reason to go full time. Leaders said it was the best perk about staying with Disney. This decision is going to tank CM morale, increase their turnover rate, and ultimately make service worse. I can see that. Yeah, because what other perks are you really getting? You get to get tugged on by children all day that wanna f around with you, like, and don't go dirty with it, but or drunk people. Like, there have been people that are the cast members that play the princesses in the parks complaining that drunk guys will f with them, and sucks, man. Next user named Jonald also voiced displeasure with the decision by the company. Disney basically destroying the Disney Aspire program is honestly one of the most idiotic things a company has ever done, he said. For a company that loves to tout about growing and development of cast members, this move is incredibly contradictory and hurts a lot of CMs. He noted in a follow-up post, a $5K tuition grant cap is such a joke. This isn't very inclusion key of y'all. Okay. And a lot of people saying how stupid this is. It really is. Going to Reddit for that one, man. This person, let's see. I'm completely devastated. I just started getting back to school with the Aspire program. I've been out of school for a year or two because of my DCP program and then deciding to stay in Florida. It was a huge relief when I heard the program was fully funded. I thought I was finally getting my life back on track. Now, this, just another finance I'll have to worry about just so they can fund the new IP coming to the parks. And this is terrible. Yep. They're not cutting cutting funding where they need to. I will say most college education is a joke nowadays. And my 2 cents on the matter, I do have a college degree that I don't use in radio and it's in broadcasting. It's I used it for 6 years, I think. 5.5, 6 years, something like that. And it's garbage. But most college degrees are worthless. And companies will say, we require a college degree, or at least they used to, because they don't want to actually do the hard work of actually going through like resume to resume and interview to interview, picking the best candidates. They just want an easy way to say, these ones have college degrees, these ones don't, throw out the ones that don't. And they don't even have to worry about it and actually do their job. You don't need a college degree for most jobs. There's on-the-job training. And most college degrees that people get nowadays are not going to help them in the workforce anyway. They're useless, stupid degrees. But they can say, I got a degree. And people will stay in school for a million years to get a master's or a doctorate in something nobody gives a damn about and that they'll never use. They just want the bragging rights. And it's like, well, enjoy your $200,000 of debt. Like, I don't know. Like, I got 30 grand in debt from my college degree, and it sucks. But regardless, it does suck if these people are wanting to go to college for something that actually matters. I know, like Penn Foster, for instance, they do like vet programs and stuff. You can be a vet tech or a full-on vet. I don't know what other programs they have. Those are the two that I know of. And it does suck. And I'm sure there are a lot of cast members that like that's one of their first jobs. It's better than working at McDonald's, and they get, they find out, oh, if I get full time, I can get my college paid for and I can get the hell out of here and do something with my life, or get a better position in Disney. But now that's gone. It's taken from him, and it sucks. It really sucks. I feel bad for him. I hate to put it this way, but them's the breaks, you know. Disney is not going to lose money and pay their executives less. They're going to screw over the little guy, and they're learning all the wrong lessons from everything because their park experience is about to get worse. And just everything is about to get worse for them. But you know, whatever. They'll learn eventually, either the easy way or the hard way. So far, they're choosing the hard way. So let's just keep on hammering at them. Final story. This is the hottest button issue I have had all day. I've covered some spicy stuff, but this is yikes. I'm gonna have to dance around some of this. Ezra Miller, accuser, who said that the Flash star groomed his daughter, has dropped petition/filing. Here we go. Since The Flash bombed, star Ezra Miller has kept a low profile and seemingly moved on from Hollywood and scandals. Oddly enough, the actor isn't the only one. There's more of that brilliant CGI from The Flash. Chase Iron Eyes, is that his real name? My God. Who accused Miller of grooming and brainwashing his daughter, Toccata, from the time she was 12, has withdrawn court filings against the actor. Quote, when you live your life under a public, tribal, or non-tribal microscope of critique, sometimes it seems it's only the critique that makes its way through, the activist and attorney wrote in an Instagram post. I want to offer this on the drama 3 years ago when I filed a petition and claimed that Ezra appeared to have groomed Toccata. I didn't know Iron Eyes was a Native American name. Okie doke. Iron Eyes says he based his filings and concerns on faulty testimony. His post continued, I made the statement in my pleading in a time of absolute war based on information with a witness who then recanted and said nothing happened that they could infer anything inappropriate from. Thus, I immediately withdrew the court filing. Okay. Now he supports his daughter and her connection with Miller. The actor and Toccata Iron Eyes performed together in a band called 100 in the Hand. I don't feel like I owe an explanation, but after we hosted a party in Santa Fe, we received some feedback, said Chase Iron Eyes. Now we are doing our level best to move on, to reconcile, to heal while remaining supportive as a father. As long as Toccata's good, we're good, he added. These are real people living real lives, and once you're in the fire where there is no anonymity, there's no safe space for you to retreat. There's a strange place, that's a strange place, and it's not inevitable or enviable. Excuse me, I can't read. It's getting late. It takes a lot to enter the fray again. In court documents filed in Standing Rock Sioux tribal court, Chase Iron Eyes and his wife Sarah Jumping Eagle claimed Miller had been manipulated and corrupting his daughter since they met in 2016 when Toccata Iron Eyes was a preteen. Miller was suspected of taking a liking to the young Iron Eyes and displaying cult-like behavior. Yeah, we've heard this about him before. Toccata Iron Eyes countered these claims on social media in a statement accusing her parents of manipulation. Quote, I am now aware of the severity of emotional and psychological manipulation I was made to endure while in my parents' home, she said, in part via People. I'm an adult and I deserve to feel authority in my own body. The former DCEU player triggered more controversy after being arrested in several cities for assault, harassment, theft, and erratic conduct. Body cam footage of one arrest in Hawaii showing Miller taunting officers went viral in 2022. Right there. He kind of looks like Bob Dylan right there, doesn't he? I kind of look like Bobby D. Miller was also caught on video chokeslamming a woman to the ground at an Icelandic establishment 2 years prior. I remember that. The actor suffered no consequences from Warner Bros. For any of the incidents and was allowed to continue as The Flash, while his Fantastic Beasts co-star Johnny Depp was fired based on disputed allegations. And that's the end of that. Yep. It was incredibly effed up. And look, I'm no Johnny Depp lover where I'm like, oh, he did nothing wrong. He's a great guy. I still think he's a nut and not a good person. But yeah, like all the stuff, it's like he's a less worse person than Amber Heard. Like, she had nothing to back up any of her stories. In fact, there was stuff to back up his stories that she was a terrible piece of garbage. So, but besides that, yeah, Ezra Miller, like, what a downfall, man. He was in quite a few things. He's just a weird SOB. And I don't know about this family. Like, considering that they said the dad is an activist, it makes me question some things. But the fact that, like, it's like it seems like he's turning his daughter against her own parents. That's effed up beyond belief. And yeah, she's young, so she'll rebel and whatever. But man, you hate to see it. It breaks your heart. But I don't know. I don't really have much to say about that. Ezra Miller can burn in hell. He's a piece of crap. But that pretty much does it for me today. We've had a long stream, ladies and gents. It's been over 3.5 hours. I am starving. I don't know if it's coming through the mic. Probably not. But my stomach is just a rumbling. So I am going to go get something to eat. Maybe work a little bit more. Yay, work. But either way, if you watched and you enjoyed the show, I hope you subscribe again. Check me out if you are not on YouTube and you want to follow me on YouTube, subscribe on there, youtube.com/@MarksOnMedia. If you want to follow me on Rumble, I would appreciate that as well. Trying to grow the channel. It's rumble.com/C/MarksOnMedia on there. If you want to follow me on X/Twitter or Instagram, I'm at Marks_on_media. Check me out and follow me, interact with me. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/MarksOnMediaTube. That's all they had available, unfortunately. Nothing else matched, so it is what it is. Not uniform, which annoys me and sets off my OCD, but it is what it is. Anyway, that's all I got for today. I hope you all enjoyed the show, found something you enjoyed out of it, and thank you all for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll catch you all later. Don't forget to check out tomorrow. I'm posting my review of the latest season of Demon Slayer, and I was a little disappointed by it, but we'll talk about that more tomorrow. Peace out.